It's my pleasure to introduce CA NAVEEN KHARIWAL sir, who has come from family of chartered accountant. Is practicing as a chartered accountant in partners in HC Chincha & Co and Associates. Is currently member of Direct Tax Committee of ICAI New Delhi, comprehensive review of income tax at 1961. Currently a member of committee formed by Income Tax Department for obtaining suggestion for project integrated e-filing and CPCIEC registration. Currently a member of Central Tax, Corporate Law and GST Committee of Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bangalore. Currently a member of Study Circle Study Group of Committee of Chamber of Tax Council Mumbai. Was co-opted member of Direct Tax Committee of ICAI. Was a member in Finance Advisory Committee. He was a team nominated by a Bangalore branch of SIRC of ICAI to present before Honorable Judge R.V. Ishwar Committee for Simplification of Taxes. He presented various seminars at the 50 branches of ICAI all over the India as of now, and it's my pleasure to have NAVEEN sir to have such a topic, drafting appeal before the tribunal for faceless assessment. I request CA Mugudan sir to present memento and shawl to our speaker. Hand over to a speaker.
Good evening to all the members assembled here. The topic for the day is, how to draft appeal against the order passed before the first appellate authority. So without much ado, let me straight away start with the topic. So as members know the appellate hierarchy, the first appeal has to be filed before the Honorable Commissioner of Income Tax. Now it is the NAFAC, the faceless appeal. The sections involved are 246A to 251. Thereafter you go on to file an appeal before the Honorable ITAT against the order passed of the CIT appeals or the NAFAC. Thereafter, agreed by the order of ITAT, you would be filing appeal before the Honorable High Court. And then agreed by the High Court, you would be filing appeal before the Supreme Court. It may be a larger bench of 5 members or 3 members. Now, what should we do when an order is passed? Now, our discussion starts at the stage the order is passed now. Once the assessment order is passed, for convenience, for sake of convenience, we'll think that all the appeals are filed against the assessment order. Now, once you receive the assessment order, what steps should you take? Or what should be the starting point of preparation or filing of appeal? Moment you get an assessment order, gone are the days, my dear friends, when you used to receive the order via post in envelope, or you used to go to the assessing officer, sign the order sheet, you used to give in your hand, sign that tear of acknowledgement. Gone are those days. Today there is no question of any issue between the words issue versus service. There is nothing called as issue versus service of order or demand of, notice of demand, etc. Why? Moment you go on the portal, moment you go to the income tax portal and you go there, order, whatever date it is there, that date itself it is served. There is no difference between date of issue as well as date of service during this age. So therefore what you have to do, first before drafting the appeal, take the copy of the order. What all order? Once the assessment order, thereafter the computation sheet, and then there is a notice of demand. This is all online, I am telling you. We will discuss offline also. Online what are available? First the assessment order, then computation sheet, then notice of demand. Moment to take that assessment order, my dear friend, first check whether there is DIN. If there is no DIN, then it is a void ab initio. It is an invalid assessment order. Check whether there is DIN. Number 2, please check if it is signed, digitally signed by the assessing officer. Number 3, please check the jurisdiction. What do you mean by jurisdiction? For example, jurisdictional issues, I am not talking about the territorial issues. I am talking jurisdiction issues. For example, 148A, B, C, D, it's a mere ritual. Nobody follows that. It invariably, when they have decided to reopen, they will reopen 99% of the cases. Just you see that whether minimum 7 days time is given to respond to that 148AB example. So technically case can be quashed. For response to 149B, section itself says give minimum 7 days time. So if the D order is passed, before giving minimum 7 days time, then courts have held that it is not a valid order. Something like that, you just check. Fourth step would be, when you go through the order, please note down. Note down all the points. Why? I have to prepare statement of facts and then grounds of appeal. Now, my dear friends, I was just discussing with the Chief Commissioner now. If not, Madam would have called me, I would have continued to discuss 1 more hour. I am in 2 important committees today of ICA Delhi. I am committee before the comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act. So I know certain changes which are bound to come. And then I am also a member of the DGIT and PCCIT Bangalore. They have made me a member in a committee which is telling CPC 2 is getting migrated to CPC 3. So they are asking what are the problems? Please let us know. What are the practical problems you are facing? Please let us know. We will try to plug all these in the next regime correctly. So now we were having a lot of discussions. So fourth step, I will, as and when we progress, we will let you know the changes which are expected. Then when you get the assessment order, please see whether the status is changed. Whether it was individual, you filed written status of individual, they made it AOP, they made it HUF, etc., etc. See the status. Once you see the status, you come down. Then you check for the calculations. 234 ABC mistake is there. If there is mistake in 234 ABC, some chapter 6A deductions, surcharge or capital gains, short term, long term, 112A, 111, etc., etc., immediately file a rectification letter. First file a rectification letter 154. That will be before the JAO, Jurisdictional Assessing Officer. Because all the files, although the assessment is online, all the records are now transferred to the jurisdictional AO. Okay? All records are transferred to jurisdictional AO. Therefore, you can file a rectification before the jurisdictional AO against the order. No question of filing rectification online. I repeat again, there is no question or there is no table or there is no column which is enabled online to file a rectification against an assessment order. So that necessarily, if there is mistake apparent on record, subject to time limit, the time limit, 4 years are there for the assessing officer to pass the order, please file the rectification. Simultaneously, for all disputed issues, my dear friends, you will have to necessarily file an appeal. For example, take issue of section 68 cash deposits. Almost the faceless is called headless assessment. The faceless, headless, senseless assessment, when the orders are passed, what has happened? Every damn credit in the bank account, they take, they total up, they add it to income. Invariably, they invoke section 68 read with, section 271 AAC read with, 115 BE. So 68 cash credits or 69 unexplained investments, etc., etc. Entire bank deposits they will take, they will add it. Now, we as chartered accountants, my dear friends, enough of theory, I want practice now. Theory and practice. Anyway, by next year, in the budget, Madam will table the new act. She will put out in public domain. You will have to learn, relearn, unlearn. And mind you, whether you are in litigation or in practice, if you are in litigation, you will have to remember two acts. That next act, new act, we have to prepare. And old act, when going to the tribunal or while drafting appeals or CAD appeals, you have to remember the old act. But all the sections will change. For example, today I am always thinking, sir, section 16IA, standard deduction, section 24B, 30% repairs and example. All these are bound to change. Entire section would change. So what I have to learn, unlearn and relearn again. So simultaneously be ready. You will have a lot of workshops. Okay, fine. You will be having a lot of workshops. So next year will be like how 2017 was GST year, probably 2025 will be income tax year. The PMO is in a hurry now. The PMO is in a hurry. They have told you have to implement it. Because Income Tax Act 1961, we are standing in 2025. I want new act subject to today's times. So let us wait and watch what lies in store for us. In any case, lot of rumors are afoot that the audit report would be now signed by other than a chartered accountant also. It looks to be a very remote possibility, very difficult. Because a chartered accountant is an expert in accounts, expert in taxation, expert in audit. Very, very difficult for the other person to come. I am not, telling that it is next to impossible, but very difficult for them to come and, sign the balance sheet, because you will have to be expert in accounts. You should understand income tax as well as you should understand Companies Act and your tax matters. Anyway, so be careful. First file your rectification application under 154. Next, contentious issues I am telling, section 68 for example, you have made 1 crore addition of all the bank deposits, or you took the sales during demonetization period, you took the part of sales during demonetization period, you took that, you disbelieved that. Entire sales for the entire year you have believed, except the portion comprising of demonetization period, you took that sales and you made an addition. Point number 1, already offered to tax, already included in sales. What is to be taxed? Should I tax sales or should I tax sales minus purchase? I need to tax. Tax will be paid on profit. So therefore it's a double addition. Tribunal will come down heavily. You will win in tribunal, absolutely, there is no problem at all. CIT appeals anyway difficult. CIT appeals may not give you relief, but tribunal will win hands down, nothing to worry. So how to represent? Section 68. All the credits in bank account. Now take the credits in bank account. First of all, discuss with the client. Please explain all the credits. It may be a case you have filed the return of income, you have not filed return of income. No problem. If you have filed or not filed, discuss everything first. What are the credits in bank account? He will tell most of it is sales. Very good. So if sales are there, knock off the purchases. What I have to pay tax is only on the profits. Similarly, there may be other credits also. Maybe gifts received, maybe repayment of loan, maybe so many things. So you'll have to explain that in form of a chart and then rely on certain case laws. Now, this this checklist is taken from our technical guide only of the CA Institute. So they are telling like this: first, when you want to file an appeal, first give a proposal to the client immediately. Immediately when he comes with the order, give a proposal or specification of things to be done, scope of the assignment, get it signed. Assessment order be vetted, prepare statement of reconciliation of income and tax liability as compared to the return filed by the appellant, including additional claim raised by the assessee in the course of assessment. So then only you will find that, against an order, what can I do basically? Sir, I can file appeal. First, appellate authority, 246 is Joint Commissioner Appeals, 246 is CIT Appeals. I can file a rectification 154. Even against an order of tribunal, I can file a rectification under section 254. That is not the topic of the day. The topic is before CIT Appeals. Then I can file a revision petition under 264 before the Principal Commissioner. Do so only when you are super confident. Because against an order passed on 264, there is no remedy in law except filing a writ petition in a court of law. So against an order, my dear friends, 3 things can be done. 1, rectification. Number 2, appeals. Number 3, revision petition. So revision petition, do so in cases only when you are super confident. Else what you will have to do is, if suppose that petition is rejected, then you have no option other than filing a writ in a court of law. Now come down. Assessee be educated regarding immunity from penalty provided under 270AA. So you know that, suppose there is under-reporting of income. There are 2 types of penalty: under-reporting of income, misreporting of income. As a consequence of under-reporting, as a consequence of misreporting. So under-reporting of income, the penalty to be levied is 50% of tax sought to be evaded. In the case of misreporting, 270A subsection 6 will say 200% of tax sought to be evaded, which in case there is no immunity, you will have to necessarily pay the tax or file an appeal. So therefore, if it's a case of under-reporting, advise the client immediately. If you are ready to pay the tax within 30 days, I will upload form 68. I will draft a letter, upload form 68. Thereby I get complete immunity from penalty if it is a case of under-reporting. So if it is a case of under-reporting, discuss with the client, sit with him, you are ready to pay the tax, then penalty will be waived. But only 30 days time limit. Within 30 days you will have to necessarily pay the tax. File form 68 is only online, sir. And offline also you can, type it out. Offline you can file it. But it's all online. It's available online now. So form 68 plus letter. Then, suppose it's a case of, suppose your 68 is rejected. Client agreed with you, okay, sir, I will pay the tax. You file waiver of penalty. Okay. So 30 days is the time limit before CIT appeals. Suppose I filed that form 68, I convinced the client to pay the tax. Assessing officer rejected it, application for immunity. He told no. Example, he will tell this is not under-reporting, this misreporting. Therefore, I shall levy 200% of tax sought to be evaded. In the meanwhile, 25 days have gone. 25 days have gone. I filed the application. On the 25th day, assessing officer has rejected my immunity. He has passed an order. Therefore, my time limit is only 30 days. So the law is telling exclusion of time limit given in section 268. 268 is crystal clear. They are giving exclusion of time. On the day you filed an application for immunity of penalty, up till the date of rejection of the order, please exclude this time limit. Therefore, your time limit will necessarily be increased by another 25 days. So 30 plus 25. Because 25 days, I never filed an appeal. 25 days, the application is lying before the assessing officer. Only on the 25th day, that fellow rejected and uploaded the order. So moment he rejects the order, now I know I have no option but to file an appeal. So therefore, I will necessarily file an appeal, but 25 days have passed. But law is telling 268, whatever time is wasted between filing of application up till the date of rejection of order, you exclude the time limit. Therefore, you are going to get 30 days from the receipt of that rejection order. Nothing to worry. Then, time limit for filing appeal, 30 days from the date of receipt or e-receipt as the case may be. Then, identification of the issues to be appealed against together with category of the issues divided in strong and weak from the point of likely outcome in the opinion of the counsel. Assessment order needs to be vetted whether there is a rectification application 154, if there is mistake apparent on record, etc. Then they are telling you obtain all soft copies of all notices and questionnaire received by the SSC. Now you can log in, take that user ID password, log in yourself or inform the SSC, download all the notices. Right from the beginning, download all the notices. If suppose the file was earlier with a different CA, assessment was handled by a different CA, you are handling only appeal. Then it's all the more for you, you have to check from the beginning, right from 143.2, whether it should within time, whether 143 is served or not, first of all. Many 148 cases, 143.2 is not served. But don't show your knowledge before the assessing officer. Let him go on asking questions, keep quiet. In the course of 148 proceedings, don't tell 143 is not served, he will serve it then. Keep quiet. At the CIT appeal level, I will inform the CIT appeals. Technically, I will get it quashed. So, like this, if the case was with a different CA, then I need to download all the notices, right from 143 to 142.1, then all the replies. Each 142.1, my humble request is, if you are not able to reply, please take time online. Gone are the days, when my friend was there in department, I used to call him, sir, I cannot come today, I am attending a marriage, or I am attending reception, I am going out of station, etc., etc. One fine day, I will come enter in order sheet. Gone are those days. How many notices come? 142.1, 142.1, 10 notices, 10 replies should be there online. Everything is online, else 272A2, a penalty will come. 10,000 per each default. 10 notices, not replied in time, into 10,000. So 10 notices into 10,000, 1 lakh penalty will come. Not replied or not replied in time. They will tell that. So everywhere either take adjournment or you file the reply. Next, obtain all soft copies, I told you, obtain copies of all submissions, etc. Carry out the process of identification and suggestion as regard additional evidences. We will see that. Additional evidence, CIT appeals has the power to admit additional evidence under Rule 46A. Then carry out primary research as regard judicial decisions which can support the issues appealed and make note of the same. When you are drafting the appeal itself, you concentrate on the appeal. After uploading of appeal, start the submissions because the issue is fresh in your mind. After 1 month or 2 months, you will forget. You will not forget completely, but in between the lines, what you have studied, all that you tend to ignore and forget. So at that time only you can start preparing, because moment you file an appeal, that communication window will be enabled. So that is given, that is a very good, boon for the assessee now. Madam Nirmala Sitaram has given that communication, enablement of communication window. Window has opened, you can file your written submissions. Now in fact last year's budget 23, one more authority is created for this purpose, JCIT appeals. Because the CIT appeals is heavily overburdened, Lakhs of appeals are pending and is not able to dispose the cases. Therefore all the small appeals of this TDS, TCS, 143.1, etc., everything is dumped onto the JCIT appeals. They created one more alternative for the CIT appeals called JCIT appeals. All the small appeals are dumped on his head. And they are telling you, start disposing of. Carry out the drafting process of regarding grounds of appeal. Prepare statement of facts. Then list out the evidences which are submitted along with the filing of appeal, separating additional evidences. Then, this Rule 46, etc. Suppose there is delay. 249, Section 249, talks about condonation of delay. So if there is condonation of delay, then you know what to do. File a petition, along with that file an affidavit. Make a prayer, petition for condonation of delay along with an affidavit. Then grounds of appeal and then statement of facts. Ensure that digital signature of the person authorized to sign the appeal is readily available, or the person is also educated for the e-verification of the appeal. Simultaneously, if the assessee wishes, ensure preparation and filing of stay of demand. Entire package is there. Suppose there is mistake upon regard rectification, contentious issues, file an appeal, then penalty also you write a letter keeping in abeyance, as well as stay of demand. Everything should go automatically. Stay of demand also before the assessing officer within 30 days. And then you know that board circular, if you pay 20% of the demand, normally balance is stayed till the disposal of appeal. In certain circumstances, you also did not pay 20% of the demand, you can approach the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax. Then your online form 35 is there, you upload that. Now what are the appeal filing fees, etc.? You know that 249 subsection 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the assessed income is below 1 lakh, then 250 rupees. Assessed income, not returned income. Assessed income is between 1 lakh to 2 lakh, it is 500 rupees. Assessed income is more than 2 lakhs, it is 1000 rupees. Assessed income is a loss. Then there are two opinions. One, they are telling it is a loss, therefore only 250 rupees. One other opinion was, even though the assessed income is a loss, it is related to the income. So again see whether it's less than 1 lakh, 1 lakh to 2 lakhs or more than 2 lakhs. In which case, even if it's more than 2 lakhs loss, only thing you have to pay is hardly 1000 rupees. Then which code to select? It is 300. It is 300. You select the code and then you pay the appeal filing fees. Now move forward. Now straight away, let us see how to prepare an appeal and what are the submissions, and then we will go into the the law points, 246A, 249, etc., etc. Let us find out how to draft an appeal first. See, drafting of statement of facts. There is no format or order which is prescribed for drafting statement of facts. Statement of facts should have facts only and not the law points. Facts should contain only those facts which are relevant and directly or indirectly connected with the additions made in the assessment order. Summarized story of the case is to be mentioned here. Facts should be clear and should not be in argumentative form. Facts should also cover those facts which are not considered by AO. Facts should be comprehensive and complete. Legal decisions, please don't quote in the statement of facts and grounds of appeal. Statement of facts are not written submissions. Now, drafting of statement of facts over, now grounds of appeal. Statement of facts should not be mixed with grounds of appeal. Grounds of appeal must mention the appellant craves at the end, craves leave to add, alter, amend, withdraw. Add, alter, amend, withdraw any or all grounds of appeal before or at the time of appeal proceedings. There should not be repetition of same ground in different and colorful languages. Levy of interest, if any, should also be taken can be taken as ground of appeal. Avoid including case laws as in grounds of appeal. They should form part of written submissions to grounds of appeal. Now let us take a case, how to draft an appeal. Take bogus purchases. What is happening? A lot of bogus purchases are there. I want to draft an appeal now first. How should I draft appeal in case of bogus purchases? See the statement of facts. This fellow is John DeCosta, HUF. There is an assessee called John DeCosta, HUF. Now this purely for bogus purchases, we are trying to understand next half an hour or 1 hour how to draft appeal. We have to understand the words, terminology, representation, how to talk in front of CID appeals. You have that tab there, seek video conferencing. Press that tab, write down in written submissions that I would like to have a personal hearing. CID appeals will allow you that seek video conferencing tab will appear. Press that, take your wakalat or power of attorney or letter of authorization and upload it. 15 minutes, 15, 20, normally 15, 20, 30 minutes time are given by CID appeals. You cannot see him. Definitely it will be blanked out, but they can hear you well. You don't know but whether it's active or not that side, but you can well explain. So I have, experienced that I have gone for all my cases for video conferencing. Most of the cases have got positive results. They understand well. And then, it really helps in at the end of the day, it really helps in the passing of the appellate order. Seek time. Again, while talking, they may ask for further queries, note down. Tell them you give me a date, I'll upload again seek video conferencing. So video conferencing is a very good weapon because what has happened was, originally when this faceless appeal came in 25th September 2020, then amended on 20th December 21. Mumbai, tribunal, what they told that, what all video conferencing are there, only for the earlier years will be allowed, earlier orders, not for the later orders. I mean your later orders, not for the earlier orders. Tribunal told nothing doing. Whenever the SSC asks for video conferencing, whether old order, new order, you have to provide. Otherwise, it's a violation of principles of natural justice. You have to allow. Okay. So there are n number of cases. Now, how to draft appeal for this? This is a case of bogus purchases. The appellant is an HUF filing this appeal for assessment year 18-19 on being aggrieved by the order dated so and so, passed under section 147, read with 144B in DIN number so and so, raising a demand of so and so. Year under appeal is 18-19. Now, there if you see, my dear friends, the DIN number is mentioned there. Okay? And then 144B is there, very important section, all of you know that. 144B, he has to follow the procedure and then only he has to pass the order. Sir, you have a caller mic? Caller mic. So 144B will be, it's a must to be followed. Then next para I am giving, appellant is engaged in the business of dealing in mobile phones and accessories. The appellant purchases mobile phones and accessories from various suppliers, selling them on online platform like Flipkart, Amazon, etc. Appellant has maintained regular proper books, which are duly audited under 44A. Income assessed as per order is so and so as against income of so and so returned by the appellant. For the year, appellant had filed return of income on so and so, wide account number so and so, declaring income of so and so. Thereafter, the case of the appellant was reopened as per the specific information stated to have been flagged as per risk management strategy. The word flag has been deleted by the statute, no more there in the present 148. Formulated by CBDT through ITBA software under the head, etc. Thereafter, the appellant has received show cause notice under 148A(b) along with annexure dated, requiring compliance by 26th March. Therefore, statutory time limit not less than 7 days not provided to the appellant. Okay. Thereafter, the case of the appellant was reopened. Then, appellant had received show cause notice under 148A(b) along with annexure dated 23rd March, requiring compliance by 26th March. Therefore, the statutory time limit of not less than 7 days was provided. These are all how to draft statement of facts. It should be in clear, crystal, simple language. No question of writing any case laws here. It continues. Statement of facts is still not over. As per annexure, it was stated that the appellant had not filed return of income for 18-19. In the return, it is stated in 148A(b), they are telling why this case is reopened, because you guys did not file return of income, which is totally wrong. That fellow has filed return of income, it is subject to tax audit, it is uploaded also. Even audit report is uploaded, even the return is uploaded. So therefore, appellant not filed return of income, that the specific information received in case of appellant, etc. Income tax officer has uploaded information that incident report generated by CGST authorities. What is the reason for reopening? That I am writing here now. What is the information received by the assessing officer which made him to reopen? Information that incident report generated by CGST authorities indicates that Vignesh Computers and Mobile India was engaged in issuing, generating, providing fake bogus invoices for passing of fraudulent input tax without supply of goods. Moment you say, sir, information, what information? Incident report generated. Have you shared with the appellant in the course of 148 proceedings? Did you share with the appellant during the course of assessment proceedings? At any stage you have not, it will be, immediately it will be quashed. You have not shared the information at all. Behind the back of the SSC, you cannot pass an order. You share the information. You are relying on certain information. What is that? Incident report you generated by CGST. Okay. Did you share that with the appellant? That's why when you receive 148A(b), you ask the assessing officer in writing, kindly share the report, sir, so that I may verify and get back to you. So incident report generated by CGST authorities that you are engaged in issuing, generating fake bogus invoices or passing of fraudulent tax entry. It is submitted that initial code 27 quoted in the above GSTN number relates to state of Maharashtra, whereas the appellant has not purchased any mobile phone from Maharashtra. On the other hand, appellant had purchased mobile phone from Vignesh Computers from the state of Tamil Nadu, which has state code 33. That mistake he did, that also we have noted down here. Please understand. Then the information shared pertains to appellant for entries provided by issuance of fake invoices pertaining to financial year 17-18 as found under. So this assessee is John DeCosta. He is telling that you purchased from mobiles from Vignesh Computers, assessment year 18-19, information value 1.32 crores. That information has come from whom? From the CGST. That incident report generated by CGST guys. Information regarding appellant was also received from CBIC. Two types of reports have been received by assessing officer. One is that incident report, one is information from CBIC, where it was reported that the entities are involved in practice of availing, issuing bogus sales purchases from Motu Patlu Telecom, 1 crore 97 lakhs information value. So, have you shared that information received from CBIC? No. Have you shared that incident report? No. Any number of Supreme Court judgments are there. You cannot do the assessment at behind the back of the assessee without sharing the report, because it is violation of principles of natural justice. Further, it was also stated in the notice that no inquiry is caused as per 148A of the Act, as the information is self-explanatory and it is verified that the appellant had not filed return for 18-19. It falls flat, sir. He has already filed return of income subject to tax audit. Even audit report is uploaded, return is also filed, tax is paid. In response to show cause notice, the appellant had replied on so and so by stating that the appellant had filed return of income for 18-19 before the due date under 139(1). In fact, got the books of account audited and had duly uploaded tax audit report in 3CB and other particulars in 3CD. The appellant has also attached ITRV and intimation 143(1). Appellant had also explained the transactions entered into Vignesh Computers and Mobiles India and Motu Patlu. Now, however, notwithstanding the reply of the appellant, it is stated in the assessment order that order is passed under 148D on 1st of April by Ward 521 after obtaining prior approval from competent authority on the ground that the appellant was required to reply on or before 25th March as per the reply of the appellant. There was no evidence proof in support of the claim of the appellant. Hence, response of the appellant was not considered and order on section 148AD was passed. Here itself, if I file a writ petition, 148AD, first of all, what? You did not share the, the incident report, or you did not share the information from CBIC. Again, 148AB, you have not given me 7 days time, minimum 7 days time. You gave me 3 days time. Again, what has happened is, without considering the reply made under 148AB, you have conveniently reopened the case. You have passed order 148AD. Crystal clear, I have told, sir, that information what is received is not correct. I am not a non-filer. I have filed my return of income under 18-19. Also, my books are subject to tax audit. And also, I explained the purchases made from both the entities. I will tell you how to explain that also. But that fellow has gone and passed the order under 148AD, read with notice under 148 without considering the reply. All these are meat and fodder for me to file a writ petition in a court of law. Although the court may tell you exhaust all the appellate remedies, then come to me karke. Further, the learned AO has erroneously stated in the order passed 148AD that appellant has not filed return of income. In the absence of return of income, source of investment remains unexplained. This income from above transaction has not been offered for tax. This conclusion arrived at by learned AO, despite notwithstanding the fact that appellant had duly filed return on 16th August itself by declaration number declaring income. Further, approval from the competent authority and incident report supposedly generated by CGST authorities and information regarding appellant, which is supposedly received from CBIC, were not shared with the appellant. You have not even shared approval received from competent authority. You are bound to share. You are bound to follow the provisions of 151 of the Act. Share the approval with me. You are least bothered. Share the incident report generated by IGs, your CGST authorities. You have not shared. Share also the incident report. You have not shared. Also the information received from CBEC, you have not shared. Thereafter, appellant received notice on 148. In response thereto, appellant filed return of income on so and so, declaring same income. Thereafter, notice on 142.1, 143.2, 142.1, etc. were issued and served. In response thereto, appellant filed detailed replies and stilling statement of facts. This is the way to draft. Very, very simple, sir. Chartered Accountant is expert in facts. Other than the Chartered Accountant, nobody knows the facts of the claim. Put down all the facts. Now, I have received 5 notices. I replied 5 times. You write down detailed replies on so and so, so and so. Why acknowledgement number also you should write so and so, so and so. Thereafter, appellant received show cause notice. Classic case, show cause notice you have given. You didn't give me sufficient time to reply. Or you gave me show cause notice. I asked for adjournment. You did not give me adjournment. I asked for some time, 3 days. You gave only 1 day. Or you sent show cause notice. I replied to the show cause notice. You didn't even consider that in the order. So many. All these are matters of writs as well as matters of grounds of appeal. Thereafter, appellant received 2 show cause notices, which was issued and served on the appellant. In response thereto, to the show cause notice, appellant filed detailed reply online along with 40 attachments. We have filed detailed reply separately on 26/2. This is not my case. That's why I told you, when somebody else is the chartered accountant at the assessment stage, you are the chartered accountant at the appellate stage. You have to take entire file. Please go on the portal. You yourself start, download all the notices, 143(2), then return, then all the replies, one by one. Prepare a chronological date. Write down chronologically, professionally. This is the notice, this is the reply. See for which question this fellow has replied, see for which question he has not replied, see how far the reply could have been better. All that will form part and parcel of the written submissions as well as my statement of fact, grounds of appeal. So when the notice came, show cause notice, we had replied along with 40 attachments. That is stock register for purchases made from Vignesh. You disbelieved my purchases from Vignesh and mobiles. Vignesh mobiles and Motu Patlu. From 2 entities, assessing officer disbelieved the purchases. Therefore, what I filed my stock register. I filed copies of bank statements reflecting payments made to Vignesh and mobiles. Then I filed my airway bill, AWB, received from Expeed Logistics, and purchase invoice from Vignesh and Mobile India along with e-way bill. Then AWB received from Interglobe, purchase invoice from Motu Patlu, etc. All the tax invoices. Then he's telling what is the sample wise sale bill copies for the goods sold, purchase bills, freight receipts, confirmation of account, certificate, ledger, bank statements reflecting payments made to all this. Ramson Logistics, that's for transportation. Annual GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, GSTR 9, GSTR 9C and 2A. All these documents have to file. Why? Otherwise you will add 60%. You are making a mockery of the law. Just because you have power, straight away you take that purchases and disbelieving your purchases, add back. Straight away you disbelieve, 60% tax. Along with that, interest penalty is okay. Penalty is only hardly 10%, 271 ASC. Who is bothered about penalty? 60% rate of tax plus 25% surcharge. Now, be that as it may, now, once what has happened, yes, the appellant had attached model-wise sample copies of sales invoices raised by the appellant along with purchase invoices, freight account, receipts, etc. Then the appellant had purchased goods from Vignesh from the Chennai office. The Chennai office address is so and so. The goods have been shipped through transporter Expeed Logistics, even that proof we are giving, Mithuj Marketing, and delivered and unloaded at the office of the appellant at SP Road, Bangalore, example. Thereafter, Vignesh and this one were national distributors further of Motorola, Lenovo, having around 19 branch offices across India. The appellant had purchased Lenovo, Motorola brand phones. Then I am giving information for both of them. Further, appellant had submitted documents like month-wise stock purchaser, etc., all this what we gave. Then obtained certificate from Ramson's Logistics stating clearly goods have been dispatched. Now, further the appellant states that entire proceedings based on information received from CBIC stating above 2 parties are involved in practice of availing issuing bogus sales purchases. Till date in case of appellant had not received any adverse orders from CBIC. Most important. Till date, appellant has not received any adverse orders from CBIC regarding purchases made from above 2 parties. Further, the appellant have also not been denied ITC for the above referred purchases. Since the very basis of assessment was made on the basis of information received from CBIC, no adverse orders are received to this effect. Making additions relying solely on the above information is not justified. Then, move forward. Then for show cause notice, had made partial response. However, first response is made partially as it is not possible to attach more than 10 attachments. You know that 5 MB, 10 attachments, maximum 50 MB, etc. And each attachment file limit cannot exceed 5 MB. Therefore, the appellant had uploaded all relevant details in parts, and at the time of final reply, appellant had filed its full response. Now, the appellant would be submitting all about documents again during the course of appellate proceedings, which will clearly prove the transactions entered into with Vignesh and Motu Patlu are genuine and fully backed by documentary evidence. Further, the appellant also wishes to submit as follows. How to end statement of facts is, there are some observations of the assessing officer in the order. That observations of assessing officer, you write down here. These are the observations of assessing officer in the order, on which I will file a detailed rebuttal in the course of my appellate proceedings. Appellant has not indulged in issuing, generating, providing fake or bogus invoices. Appellant has not taken any interest provided by issuance of invoices. Appellant has not involved in practice of availing, issuing bogus sales purchase bills. Appellant has not obtained any invoices which can be said to be bogus. Therefore, further, the nature and type of information received from CBIC is not shared with the appellant, and in the absence of such information, not possible to comment on the information from other agencies. Passing of assessment order merely on the basis of third-party information and without carrying out independent investigation makes the order bad in law. Everywhere you can fight with this. Passing of assessment order merely on the basis of third-party information and without carrying out independent investigation makes the order bad in law. Then in the computation sheet, tax on the addition is computed as per IT Act and following interest has been levied B, C, D. Thereafter, penalty proceedings under 270A for concealment of income has been initiated separately. Then it is also stated in the order that fees will be charged under 234F for non-filing of return under section 139, notwithstanding the fact that appellant already filed the return of income, etc., which is in fact well within the due date of filing return. Being agreed by the order passed, appellant has preferred this appeal. This sends statement of facts. These are all statement of facts, you will have to draft accordingly. Now start with grounds of appeal. The learned AO, always you write learned, then write AO for everything. Learned AO has erred in passing the order in the manner passed by him. Impugned order as passed by learned AO is in gross violation of principles of natural justice, which makes the order void ab initio liable to be quashed. Then without prejudice, learned AO has erred in passing order on 148 AD on the reason stated in the order that the appellant had not filed return of income, and in the absence of return of income, source of investment remains unexplained. This is notwithstanding the fact that appellant had duly filed return, etc. And therefore order passed is bad in law, liable to be quashed. Next round of appeal. As erred in not granting the statutory time limit to respond to the notice issued under 148AB, making the entire reassessment proceedings bad in law, liable to be quashed. You are not even statutory time limit. Law itself provides 7 days. Who are you? You are giving only 3 days. You are a creature of law. You are not law by itself. Are you law unto yourself? Law is telling 7 days, you are giving me 3 days time, and you are making huge additions. 60% you want me to pay tax, then you will tell pay 20%. Can I pay 20% of that 60% for having made these additions? In any case, the condition precedent for issue of notice and 148 being not present, issue of notice was bad in law. All consequent proceedings become bad in law, have to be quashed. Wherever 148 comes, if you are filing an appeal, blindly out write this. Condition precedent for issue of notice and 148 being not present. In any case, passing order without complying with legal and statutory requirements of reassessment proceedings makes the order bad in law, liable to be quashed. In any case and without prejudice, the notice and 148 is vague and also not in accordance with provisions of law and liable to be deleted. Why? Sir, you have not given me approval. You have not shared the approval of 151. 151 also there are various case laws, they tell, okay. If you see that approval, they will tell, okay, approval granted. Without application of mind, you are granting approval. At least write one para. When this came for your approval, at least go through the case. Independently, apply your mind, apply your brains, go through, then come to a conclusion. Many cases, what is that? Okay, approved. One word, one sentence. Can't you write even 3 sentences for approval? All these courts have come down heavily there. What is this? This approval you have given karke. Just one word, approved. Okay. And that too it will be the same date. Morning they will send for approval, evening approved. Or at that time only, all this no, at that time in High Court you have to see that. They will see that, sir, it came at this time only. Put one RTA and get, how to get all this? You have to put one RTA, then get all this file. Because file you cannot say. What time you sent for approval, what time you have got approval, what time you have issued the notice. Last date, 31st March, 4 o'clock they will send for approval. 4:05 approval has come. 4:10 it is uploaded on the net. And 4:15 is reflecting here. Within 5 minutes approval over. Courts have come down heavily on such orders. In any case and without prejudice, notice and 148 vague in law and not in accordance with the provisions of law. Without prejudice, assessing officer erred in treating a sum of 3 crore. For heaven's sake, write the figures in the grounds of appeal. Nobody wants to write figures at all in grounds of appeal. If there are 2 additions made or 10 additions made, for example, first is section 68, then some 14 addition, then some share premium addition, whatever, each ground you please take. So for example 68 is there, take that as number 2 example, A, B, C, D, whatever about 68. Share premium, A, B, C, D, 3. Then for example 14A, again 4, A, B, C, D. For example bad debts. If you take bad debts, disallowance of bad debts, write there 4, A, B, C, D, etc. No need to write the Supreme Court judgment. Bad debts, let him add back. You know what is bad? 3617, you know. TRF Limited, you know. Karnataka High Court is there, Vijaya Bank. TRF Limited, Supreme Court is there. What are they telling? Just writing off the bad debt in books of account is enough. Supreme Court is telling just to credit the account of the debtor, debit P&L account is enough. Or that debt should have been incurred in the course of carrying on a business or profession. It's enough for me. So Supreme Court is telling, have you written off in your books of account? Show me that ledger. Be careful, show that ledger. Have you debited to P&L account? Have you credited the account of the debtor? If yes, allow. Anyway, so learned assessing officer has also erred in making disallowance out of purchases without providing information as to how it is concluded that it is bogus purchases are made. You got information telling that it is bogus purchases, but you are not telling the basis on which you have concluded that it is bogus purchases. Example, all the purchases are genuine and bona fide and there being no evidence to hold otherwise, the disallowance as made is to be deleted. Without prejudice, the learned AO has erred in making the disallowance out of purchases without rejecting the books. Have you rejected books of account? You raise that stand also. Not during the course of assessment proceedings, all in appellate. You cannot disbelieve the purchases without rejecting the books of account. Without prejudice, AO has erred in making disallowance of bogus purchases despite having accepted the sales. If I don't have stock, how can I sell the goods? If you are telling that my purchases are bogus, I have got stock register, how can I sell the goods without stock? I have given you my stock register. Entry is there, inward is there, outward is there, everything is there, followed by all that bills. That's why that logistics we took the letters from them. Without stock, how can there be sales? In any case, it's only the profit element. Ultimately what I am telling you, what do you want to add, sir? You add profit element. Why do you want to add entire purchases? There are umpteen judgments which says what can be added is only the profit element. It is only the profit element which has to be assessed to tax, considering nature of business of the appellant and the margin on the trading and not the purchasers. When the total sales is accepted by the learned assessing officer, he could not have questioned the very basis of purchases. Without prejudice, the learned AO was already making disallowance of bogus purchases, despite having not disputed the sales, and therefore this was not a case of bogus purchases. Inasmuch as if the purchases was bogus, it would not be possible for appellant to complete the transaction by way of sale, unless it could be shown from the record that the corresponding sale was also sham transaction. I have understood, sir, the important these 4 lines. See these 4 lines again. Without prejudice, the learned AO was erred in making disallowance of bogus purchases, despite having not disputed the sales, and therefore this was not a case of bogus purchases, inasmuch as if the purchases was bogus, it would not be possible for appellant to complete the transaction by way of sale, unless it could be shown from the record that the corresponding sale was also a sham transaction. Without prejudice, if the purchases are bogus, even only on that purchase bogus, there are 3 or 4 alternative stands. I don't know which one the court will accept, but I am sure to get relief at the tribunal level. Only thing, if you tell at least, no, sir, you tax only the profit margin, I am happy. You don't tax the full purchases. Let the tribunal tell you tax only the profit margin, I am happy. I am ready to pay the tax. You check my gross profit or net profit, sir, for last 5 years. I am giving you my audited balance sheet. Check, for example, the last 5 years, the GP or the NP is say 7%, 8%, etc. You add 7% of profits and I have no problem. I will pay the tax. 7% profit, 30% with the rate of tax, I will pay the tax. Without prejudice, if the purchases are bogus, it would be impossible for the appellant to complete the business transaction, and that if the purchase is bogus, the corresponding sale also must be bogus, or else the transaction would be impossible to complete, and as a necessary corollary, unless the corresponding sale is held to be bogus, the purchase also cannot be held to be bogus. Rather, it would be a case of purchase from bogus entities and parties. Without prejudice, the assessing officer erred in passing the assessment order based merely on third-party information and without any independent verification. Such an order by a quasi-judicial authority being bad in law is liable to be quashed. Sir, now example, creditors are there. In the course of assessment proceedings, the assessing officer will ask your clients, please give me confirmation from creditors. You are giving your confirmation from creditors. He wants to identify what he wants to check. He wants to check identity, creditworthiness, genuineness of creditors. Normally when they ask confirmation from creditors, three things assessing officer checks: identity, creditworthiness and genuineness. What all can you give? I will give the confirmation letter. In the confirmation letter, the PAN, the address, signature is there. I can give Aadhaar or PAN card. I can also give the ITRV provided the creditor gives me. I can also share the financial statements provided he shares. Then he is telling you prove the genuineness and creditworthiness. Creditworthiness means unless I get the financials, very difficult for me to prove. So therefore, assessing officer himself has what the power to issue call for the records under 133(6) of the Act. If I ask my creditor, he will tell, first of all, I gave you loan. On top of that, you want my financial statement. On top of that, you want ITRV. I am not going to give it. If a family member, okay. Or my friend, okay. Otherwise, creditor will tell, first of all, you took loan. On top of that, you are not given me interest. On top of that, you are not repaid the loan. Now you want to see my financial transaction. I am not going to give you credit. The assessing officer himself would have issued 133(6). He will issue 133(6) and he will get all the confirmation letters. But my creditor will not reply. My creditor sometimes 136 has come, well, why to reply? No reply, he will write in the order, no reply, and therefore addition made 133(6). Similarly, what he will do, these bank statements, from the bank itself, they will call for all the bank statements. The assessing officer readily has that bank statements. Who will do all this? There is a wing of the department called INCI, Intelligence and Criminal Investigation. INCI, in Bangalore it is at Unity Building. What that INCI will do? Simply they will go on uploading information. Take all the information, upload. For example, bank statements. All credits are there in bank account. That bank will flag certain transactions immediately. So all this they will take, they will upload everything. For example, rent received. Rent received, several crores are there. Credit card payments are made. Purchase of shares, sale of shares, deposits in bank. 1 crore you deposited, 1 crore you withdraw. You sold property, you purchased property. Who wants that more than 30 lakhs, 194 IA, 1%? Your department is, not a fool. Why do they want that 1% TDS? They want to trap you there, to leave an audit trail that you have purchased or sold the property, so that they can catch you there. Yes, you sold the property, whether you have paid capital gains, or you purchased the property, whether you have purchased at or above the stamp duty guidance valuation. If you have purchased below, if you are a purchaser or you are a seller, you have sold below guideline value, I will invoke 50 CA, it's a capital asset. If it's a business asset, I will invoke 43 CA. If you guy is the seller, I will invoke that 50 CA, or if you are a business holding a stock in trade, I will invoke section 43 CA. If you fellow are the purchaser, I will invoke 56(2) within bracket 10 for the difference in stamp duty valuation, how much you have purchased. Other than the 10% margin, I am going to tax it at 30%. For capital gains, it is 20%. Tolerance band anywhere, that 10%. So all this what they will do, this information, all INCI will just take that information, upload. Everything you will upload. There is a section 135A in Income Tax Act. What is section 135A in Income Tax Act? Faceless. It is called faceless information. That 135A information is what? Nothing but your AAS, TAS, 26AS. None of you bother to reply, sir. Most unfortunate. That AAS, TAS, whatever information is there, this information comes. For example, rent received 1 crore. First notice will come. You have not replied. You will tell anyway I offered, no. Or bank deposits are there. Or say interest received is there. 5 lakhs interest received. First notice will come. It is appearing, sir. Nobody replies. 133(6) in EAS. No reply. Second notice will come. No reply. Third notice will come. No reply. Then inspector of INCI will call you. Please go on the portal, sir, and you give your reply karke. Nobody will reply. Then order will be passed and case will be reopened because of this negligence. Although that 1 lakh rupees, that interest you already declared in the return. You have already declared in the return, but you have not responded online, sir. In that AES, that bulb comes now, that you have to do that 133(6). 3 notices are there. None of you will reply. Oh, what is this? Not required. I have offered to tax in return of income. 135A faceless information is telling you failed to reply those 3 notices. Call from the department. So what to do? They will reopen the case. When they reopen this case under 148, they will not follow the procedure under 148A, B, C, D. That doing that inquiry, opportunity of being heard, taking your submissions on record, then passing order. These will not be followed. Why? Already, the opportunity is given to you in the form of that 133(6) under 135A online. You did not bother to reply. 3 notices were given. So case reopens. Once the case is reopened, for example, for this interest, so many other things will come under the picture. Assessment will be there, it will be reopened for the entire assessment. For example, there it was reopened because I did not tick that rent received. But there some creditors are there. He will ask you as give me confirmation of creditors. No concept of limited scrutiny now. All removed, sir. All removed, limited scrutiny, all. It's all unlimited now. No question of limited scrutiny from now on. So they'll entire assessment is reopened now because of one mistake. So he will ask some other points. Sir, cash withdrawals are there. Why did you withdraw cash? Already cash balance is there. Why did you withdraw cash? Some questions are asked. Cash deposit there. What is the source of cash deposit? Sir, I received from debtors. Give me the name, address, PAN of debtor. You are telling receipt from debtors, the source for cash deposit. Give me the name, address, PAN of debtors. I don't have. No address, no name, no PAN. So immediately they will take everything, add it. That cash credits in bank account. Example. So be careful. Very important that 135A, faceless information, IMC, etc. That STR, CTR and all this wing. Here only you have to go to that department. Wing. What is the work of the wing? All this STR, suspicious transaction report, your CTRs, etc. All these bank accounts, everything. 30 ITRs, 50 ITRs. You have taken loan from him. You gave a loan to him. Again you withdraw from here. It's a family-oriented business. Example, 10 companies are there. Intercompany borrowings, example. So all these are nothing but STR, CTR. Some 50 CTRs will be there. Everything they will collect everything. All these they will issue notice. Summons they will send. Summons they will send and collect everything, right from bank statements, right from your, the financial statements, etc. That will become the basis for search. When you receive summons under 131 and they will send all these details, you will file all these details. It is not online, everything will be offline. All this information is taken for search. The search emanates from here. Why? Because there should be evidence in possession of assessing officer that the assessee has got undisclosed income or concealed income. Where is the evidence? This evidence is collected like this only. They will issue 131 summons, collect all the evidence, close the file. This file will be then given to the higher ups. Based on this, they will tell whether search has to be done or not to be done. Anyway. So this is one ground of appeal. Without prejudice, AO has made addition by disallowing expenses on purchases on the ground that information was received from CGST authorities that the appellant was engaged in issuing, generating, providing fake, bogus invoices for passing of fraudulent input tax credit without supply of goods, and information was received from CBIC that the entities are involved in practice of availing, etc. Then assessing officer, since assessing officer not disputed corresponding sales, purchase also could not be bogus, and thus the impugned addition made on account of bogus purchase are to be deleted. See the ground of appeal. See the length. Appellant also denies liability to pay interest and B, C, D, etc. Interest having been levied erroneously is to be deleted. In view of the above, other grounds to be adduced at the time of hearing, it is requested the order passed be quashed, or at least the additions made to income return on account of bogus purchases be deleted, interest will be deleted. So this is statement of fact, grounds of appeal. Similarly, for 148 orders, you have to draft. What orders you have received, sir? Against which you have filed appeals? What are the orders? Yeah?
144.
144 you have received. So now 144, what is the latest development, sir? CIT appeals has the power to set aside 144 to the file of assessing officer. It's only 144, which power was withdrawn by the statute with effect from 1st of June 2001. CIT appeals has no power to cancel the assessment. CIT appeals has no power to set aside the assessment, which power is only there with the ITAT. The CIT appeals has the power to confirm, enhance, reduce, annul the assessment. CIT appeals cannot set aside the assessment except there is a case of ex parte assessment 144, which has come from the last budget only, last finance act. Because lot of cases on 144 were going and sitting in the CIT appeals. So he cannot check all the, now at first time you are going to submit all the documents before the Honorable CIT appeals. You did not respond to the notices of the assessing officer. You did not submit a single detail before the assessing officer. Then naturally orders are passed 144, read with 147, etc. Against those orders are in appeal. First time you are submitting the details before the CIT appeals. He cannot sit and check. Therefore, they took the power from the finance minister itself. You make an amendment. Only what we can set aside is only 144 cases. So invariably everything, all 144 cases by CIT appeals will be set aside to the file of assessing officer, where you will get one more opportunity to submit all the details afresh. And there are two types there, partially set aside or fully set aside. If it is a case of partially set aside, it will go to JAO. So JAO means jurisdiction assessing officer. Therefore, you can meet the assessing officer, get it done. How you used to do earlier, you can go get it done. Or if it is fully set aside, then it will be set aside only to the FAO, faceless assessing officer.
But that is pending with the NFAC, sir. That 144 order, we appealed it. We appealed with CAT appeal, but they have gone to NFAC.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, that 144, what you are telling, it's fully set aside means you have filed an appeal, no? Naturally, it is lying with CAT appeals, sir. Now the CAT appeals will take a decision because of the last year's amendment. He can set aside this case to the file of the assessing officer. Once it is fully set aside, then it will go back to the assessing officer, faceless, FAO, FAO. If it is partially set aside, then it will go to JAW, that is judicial assessing officer. In your case, appeal is pending before the NAFAC, 144 case.
Is there any time limit, sir?
Time limit is there, sir. He is asking what is the time limit for passing CAT appeals order. Any answer, sir? I want all, deliberations. Tell me, sir.
Last 3 years it is pending, sir, with the NFAC.
Sir, he has raised very important question. Appeal is pending for 3 years. What is the time limit for passing appellate order? Tell me. Very crucial, very important question. The law is telling, Income Tax Act present is telling, 250 subsection 6A. 256A is telling, the CAT appeals may. The word used is may, not shall. May, where it is possible for him, pass an order within 1 year from the end of financial year in which appeal is filed. So the word used is may. So the word is not used is shall. So 1 year from the end of financial year in which appeal is filed, actually if they had used the word shall, time limit would have been over now. Unfortunately, because the word used is may, like sir is already correctly telling, 3 years are over, appeal is not disposed, unfortunate. It may continue also. Is it just CAT appeals or CAT appeals in fact only?
Traffic, sir. We are setting the reminder, but they have no response.
No response.
No phone call. No.
Phone call you cannot know, sir. You cannot know who is the CAT appeals. If your assessor is in Chennai, this appeal will be in Kanpur, Nagpur, Sikkim, etc.
How to follow?
You cannot follow. Only through the portal only.
Not even, we don't know whether appeal.
Just circulate the mind, sir, for benefit of everybody. Keep on asking, sir, whatever you want, you ask.
Hello. Sir, they send mails to some other, I think mail ID they are given by the office.
Yeah.
I think they have not given the number. They are not saying.
Number nobody will get, sir. You cannot know which CAT appeals. You know it's JCIT appeals. Please, whatever JCIT appeals are there, their designation is there, their name is also there. And you know which JCIT appeals. Your case is in Chennai, but you may receive that notice from JCIT appeals Hyderabad. Name will be there. Because those are all small cases. For NAFAC, you don't know, sir. You cannot contact them, you cannot reach them. I agree, mail is given to you, but you are asking for the phone number. That help desk number and all will be given, it's not possible.
Please for video conference.
Appeal number will be given, sir.
They didn't say it.
No. Then enablement of communication window is there, no? How many months over you filed the appeal?
3 years.
3 years over and you have not got appeal number still. No. Please check the notice.
No. Appeal number must be there.
You please download right now and show me. You can download now also, not an issue. We are there up to 7:30, no? Any live drafting of assessment order you want also, I will do it right now. Get me that assessment order, I will show you how to draft appeal. These chartered accountants, everybody has the act. Everybody knows the law. We have to improve our skill for drafting. It is a must for us because next year, my dear friends, you will be on 2 boards. One is the old act, one is the new act. And if you keep lethargic, okay, the CA Institute is keeping their standards high. Beyond say 10% or 9%, they are not releasing the chartered accountants. So finance minister may feel the pressure. No, in the market there is so much work. Your institute is releasing only certain numbers only. So they may feel the pressure, so they may would want to allow, but it is very difficult to allow somebody else other than a chartered accountant doing all these functions. Anyway, any other questions, sir?
They have a very standard questionnaire format, sir. Every time they are repeating this.
For the CIT appeals.
Faceless.
Correct, he is right. He is right. That SOP, see what has happened, they are using that automated tool and that AI, artificial intelligence, rather than human brains and mind. So keep on, that same thing. Based on artificial intelligence, it is asking all the questions actually.
Sir, for 148 AD,
Yes, sir.
it is stated that if the appellant has replied to the notice and the 148 AD order can be made only from the end of the month in which the reply is received.
Right, sir.
So
30 days time limit is there.
30 days time limit. So if the appellant replies say 15th March the
Next month, April 30th.
next, so from, he can pass the order only after 1st April, is my understanding correct? Because the Act says,
No, you have the Act. An Act also is required. Sir, Act is required, Act copy.
Act.
Income Tax Act. It will be there in our library. Kindly get that. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
To my knowledge, it says that 148 AD from the end of the month in which the reply is received.
Right.
So if it is 15th March, the
From the end of the month in which reply is received before March,
yes,
then up to 30th April, no? End of the month from which reply is received, 31st March, 30th April.
that is what the 148 AD order, can it be passed before 31st March or can it be passed only between 1st April and 30th April?
No, see, the problem is, in this, how much time was given to you for the reply? Have you taken any adjournment or not? Huh?
7 days.
7 days only was taken. You have not asked for time. They are telling that we can give time also. Section says we can give time also based on application filed by the assessee. So if there is no time, then as you rightly pointed out, it should be 30th April only. Unfortunate, but if there is no time taken. Yes, sir.
Sir, can they issue 148A the order before issuing 148AB?
148A.
Yeah, 148A, sorry.
A, nobody does, sir. That inquiry, nobody does that. They straight away issue show cause notice on 148A. Actually, they should have followed A. 148A, then B, show cause. Then C is what? Consider the reply of the appellant. I mean your assessee. Then D is, passing of the order. Very few would have received 148A.
148A
Is inquiry.
No, 148AB, sir.
AB is show cause notice. See, based on the information,
No, the 148AB was not issued. Straight away 148AD was issued.
straight away 148AD.
Yeah.
Go to writ today only. Tomorrow itself, go and meet your advocate, go for it. Instead of filing appeal, go for it immediately. You will get stay also. Added advantage, you will get stay.
So you're saying we can contest this and can...
100%, sir. So, this is a classic case where selling straight away D order is passed without issue of notice and 148AB.
Yeah.
But I will check online.
Yes, sir, yeah. Because this case was just for financial 14-15 and the all this thing started in March 23.
Right. So where there is, 148AB is not issued, 148AB. Yeah, what is A, sir? Let me read for the benefit. A, as I told you, inquiry. Assessing officer shall, word using shall, before issuing any notice under 148, A, conduct any inquiry if required with the prior approval of the specified authority. Why they don't do that inquiry? If required. Conduct any inquiry if required with the prior approval of specified authority with respect to information which suggests that income chargeable tax escaped assessment. See, what was the reason to believe has now become information suggesting that income has escaped assessment. You are thinking this new word information. There are senior practitioners, senior chartered accountants who knows that word information was already there in statute in 1987. In 1987, before bringing amendment in 1989, the word earlier used was information only, then they made it reason to believe. That 1989 was one more year, where there was previous year assessment year. Earlier we used to take Diwali to Diwali or January to December, that financial year 12 months. For 1989, if you see today, what was the assessment year? 17 months. Because they wanted to make in India uniform previous year, 12 months. So earlier we used to do that. January to December or Diwali to Diwali or something like that. However I want, I used to prepare. So that time India, they brought that amendment, 1989. So that assessment year in fact was for 17 months those days. Before that there was already that word of information. Then came reason to believe. Now that reason to believe is gone and now they say information suggesting that income has escaped assessment. So 148A is telling conduct any inquiry. First this fellow has to conduct inquiry if required. Because the word if required with the prior approval of specified authority. Specified authority is under 151. Who is the PCIT or CIT. With respect to information which suggests that income chargeable tax escaped assessment. That information what they get, everything is based on what? RMS strategy formulated by board. Risk management strategy formulated by board. No assessing officer will do inquiry. This RMS strategy will come now. It will be pushed from the board. Whatever is pushed from the board, he will take that as information. Based on that, they reopen. Nobody does any inquiry, sir. They say conduct any inquiry if required. They will just take that RMS information formulated by board and they will start. B, very important. Provide an opportunity of being heard to the associate by serving upon him a notice to show cause within such time as may be specified in the notice, being not less than 7 days, is issued or such time as may be extended by him on the basis of an application on this behalf as to why notice and 148 should not be issued, etc. If any, as per clause A. Then C is consider the reply of the associate furnished, if any, in response show cause notice. D, decide on the basis of material available on record, including reply of the associate, whether or not it's a fit case to issue notice under 148 by passing an order, important, again with the prior approval, within 1 month from the end of the month in which the reply referred to in clause C is received by him, within 1 month from the end of the month, or where no such reply is furnished, within 1 month from the end of the month in which time extended, in which the time or extended time allowed to furnish a reply as per clause B expires. So suppose your reply is received on say March 15th. That means what? 1 month from the end of the month. That means April 30th.
That is fine, sir. If the 148 AD is passed before 31st March,
Yeah.
is that a valid 148 AD order?
Why?
Because the 148 AD says
He
the
can pass even before time now because he has given you 7 days time. So he can pass even on the 10th day also.
based on my reply, he has to apply his mind to see
Yes.
whether 148 AD is passed or not. For that only, I
Got it. I cannot tell that you should take 10 days time, 20 days time to apply your mind.
for that only the act says from the end of the month in which the reply is received. Otherwise, in one day, as you said, in 1 day also he can pass an order.
He can pass. That is up to us now. From the date of filing and from date what he has passed. In your case, it may be 1 day or 2 days. That time you can dispute it. That time, all these are matter for the courts to decide, and I can't see his file also. Only when I put RTA, etc., High Court, I can get directed by High Court. High Court can call for the file. Even I will question in the High Court, what do you mean by RMS strategy formulated by board? Tribunal cannot ask, CIT appeals cannot ask. I will ask in High Court. What do you mean by RMS strategy formulated by board? You share it with us, risk management strategy. What is that? So based on which you are reopening my case. Anyway. Then, what is it? Yeah. Can I file only an appeal against interest, sir? 234 ABC? So there is no mistake in the order. Okay, now what is happening? My return income is accepted, but however there is demand. In the computation sheet, demand comes. My return income is accepted. They will not give credit for TDS. They will not give credit for self-assessment tax. They will not give credit for advance tax. Or they will not give credit for TCS. Or there is mistake in computation 234 ABC. Can I file appeal? Can I not file appeal? What is your opinion? You want to file appeal? You don't want to file appeal. What will you do?
Can we go for rectification?
Definitely, certainly. Rectification I will go, sir. Along with that, I will also try to file an appeal where it is possible to file an appeal. 246 say appealable orders are there, illustrated. Against those appealable orders only I can file an appeal. So only against the interest it is not possible to file an appeal. Only interest in 220 subsection 2 you cannot file an appeal. Only interest. Why 234A? 234C is always on return income. 234C is on return income only. Whereas appeal filing fees I am paying with respect to what? Assessed income. 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, 250. 2 lakhs. I mean 1 lakh, up to 1 lakh, 1 lakh to 2 lakhs and beyond 2 lakhs. 250, 500, 1000. So my return income is accepted. My returned income is accepted. However, credit is not given for TDS, TCS, advance tax, self-assessment tax, and mistake in 234 ABC, etc., etc. So therefore, as I rightly pointed out, file a rectification also and try to file an appeal in case of TDS also, if credit is not given, full credit. Now there are 20 issues here, you can go through, I am sharing the PPT also, don't worry. So all these should form part and parcel of your written submissions. All the purchases made from vendors are genuine, fully backed by documentary evidence. Hence the addition made to income of the appellant should be deleted. The Delhi Tribunal judgment, Ishan Lal Jewels, etc. So like this Hanuman Agarwal, Patna, Bombay High Court, Babulal. So many case laws are there. Calcutta Tribunal, Selwell Advertising, Then CIT versus MK, brothers, Gujarat High Court. Then Gujarat High Court in Tejua, Rohit Kumar Kapadia held as under. The assessing officer disallowed purchase expenditure of 5.19 crores, making the addition treating the purchase as bogus. Assessee carried the matter in appeal. CIT appeals allowed the appeal entirely on the ground that all payments are made by assessee by account pay check. Assessee is in fact not a trader. All purchases made from Raj Impex found to have been sold. And the sales were also accepted by assessing officer. Revenue carried the matter in appeal before the tribunal. The tribunal dismissed the earlier, making following observations. We have given a thoughtful consideration to the orders of appellate authorities below. There is no dispute that the purchases made from Raj Impex were duly supported by bills. All payments have been made by account paying checks. There is also no dispute that Raj Impex have confirmed all transactions. There is no evidence to draw the conclusion that the entire purchase consideration which the assessee had paid to Raj Impex had come back to the assessee in cash. You have to prove. Merely telling, writing down in the order will not help. It is also true that there are no adverse inference has been drawn so far as the sales made by assessee is concerned. We also find that the entire purchases made by assessee from Raj Impex have been accounted by Raj Impex and have paid the taxes accordingly. Considering the facts in totality as well as appreciated by First Appellate Authority, we do not find any error or infirmity in the findings of First Appellate Authority. Then the High Court is telling, it can be seen that the Appellate Authority as well as Tribunal came to a concurrent conclusion that the purchases already made by assessee from Raj Impex are duly supported by bills, payments made by account pay check. Raj Impex also confirmed the transaction. There is no evidence to show that the amount was recycled back to the assessee. Particularly when it was found that the assessee, the trader, had also shown the sales out of purchases made from Raj Impex, which were also accepted by the revenue. No question of law arises. In this case, it may be stated that appeal filed has been dismissed by the Supreme Court. Then this is your passing of assessment order merely on the basis of third-party information and without carrying out independent investigation makes the order bad in law. Assessment order under the Income Tax Act is to be passed by an assessing officer after independent verification and appreciation of the material by oneself. An assessment cannot be made merely on surmises. Rule of natural justice has to be fully followed while framing the assessment. Appellant is to be confronted with all material. Appellant is to be confronted with all material, with the liberty to rebut the material and if necessary to even cross-examine the persons whose statement actions are sought to be relied upon. So all these are issue 2. Now all this I will have to take up in the written submissions, rebuttals. What is this? Information like incident report generated by CGST authorities and information received from CBSE not made available to the appellant. Therefore, there are enough case laws. Settled proposition of law that the information gathered behind back of the assessee cannot be used against him unless he is given an opportunity of rebutting the same. Such actions are against principles of natural justice. Delhi High Court. Onus of proof. It is right that the primary burden to furnish explanation and provide evidences is on the assessee, and the AO's duty is to carefully examine the same and take judicious view considering all material facts available on case records. Also, it is to be noted that one has to consider the totality of facts, surrounding circumstances and human probability for arriving at the conclusion. In CIT versus Daulat Ram Rawatmal 1973 old judgment, Supreme Court has held that the onus of proving what was apparent is not real is on the party who claims it to be so. Invoices and bank statements are commonly accepted documents evidencing a purchase transaction. If these are held to be bogus, non-genuine, onus is on the party who claims to the contrary. AO has to bring on record evidences supporting AO's claim of the contrary, etc. Documentary evidences submitted by appellant have not been faulted with. All this you have to take and prepare written submissions. I don't know why it has to be, I don't know where this case will go. It may be CIT appeals, then it will go to tribunal, then it will go to High Court, then it may go to Supreme Court. I don't know where it goes. Therefore, all stands I have to take. Yes, sir. Keep asking questions.
Sir, on the payment of tax, suppose, say, for example, in case of non-residents, okay, there are cases where when the purchase of property or sale of property has happened, the assessee sitting somewhere in US, he has not responded.
Right.
He has taken the entire sale value of the cost as a profit.
Right.
Okay, in this case, is, suppose if I need to.
144 is passed in your case?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, actually, do I need to pay, because actually, apparently.
Sir, capital gains you have to pay tax, sir.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, suppose if I need to go on appeal, I'm supposed to pay the tax, whatever is there.
100% you have to pay tax. This is a very important point. I'll tell you why. See, 249 subsection 2, clause A, clause B. Understand carefully, as raised a very important point. Why I'll tell you. 249 subsection 2, clause A, clause B. What is clause A telling? If suppose you have filed the return of income, you please pay tax on return income. B is telling, if suppose, my dear friend, you have not filed return of income, at least pay the advance tax on the income said to have been earned by the appellant. Then the proviso or explanation, proviso is telling, you need not pay even advance tax. You have filed return of income, pay tax on return income. If you have not filed return of income, at least pay advance tax on the income. Proviso is telling, you need not even file return, you need not even pay tax, but it is subject to sufficient and good reason. What is that sufficient cause? What is that reasonable cause? What is that good cause? In this case, 28 December 21 faceless appeal, certain amendments have come. In that, what they are telling, they raised this issue and they told nothing doing. Law is 249, what we discussed now, that is the law. But for faceless appeal, they are telling you have to pay tax on return income. Otherwise, I will not admit your appeal.
Tax on return, say
Yes.
in this case, actually his tax is around 3,50,000.
You just pay the tax.
With all penalties,
Compute the capital gains and pay the tax.
but actually the order is for 2.5
No problem. You need not pay that much.
It's enough if we just pay the tax.
Just pay the tax. You compute the capital gains. Okay. Then you draft the form 35 in this manner. Make the computation. Possible as an attachment, you attach that sale deed also. You attach sale deed, and anyway computation you can attach. Sale deed for purchase, sale deed for sale, you attach that and tell that you have paid tax along with interest on 234, BC, etc. Even 220 subsection 2 also I can pay. What is there? And I will admit all these, I will produce all these as additional evidence under Rule 46A along with an affidavit, etc. So I will upload everything during the course of assessment proceedings, I mean your appellate proceedings, plus what I will do, if at all the case is, the assessing officer, the CIT appeals may call for a remand report. If they call for a remand report, they will issue these details, they will even share it with the assessing officer. Assessing officer will in turn issue a notice to you. It will come on the NAFAC only. That time you can share these records also. But if it is 144, 100% is going to be set aside to the file of AO. That time you submit all these details. And clearly you make out a case, and also please file an application before high-pitched grievance committee. High-pitched grievance committee. Telling that sale consideration itself is added back, sir. Whereas this is the profit, this is the capital gain, I am ready to pay tax, I have paid the tax. Attach a manual return, attach the computation, attach all the sale deeds, etc. And you attach the challan also.
Sir, is it mandatory for the appeals commissioner to redirect it for 144 cases?
His wish. Normally they have been given that power, so why will that fellow will go into it? He will immediately redirect. If it's a case of 144, the CIT appeals will tell why I should break my head karke, why should I call for evidences? And might as well assessing officer let him do the job. So it's only case of 144 he will push it, not other cases. He has no power to push other than 144 cases. Yes, sir.
I have 3 points.
Please.
One, the pre-deposit in appeal.
20%.
Is it 20% on the tax or 20% on tax plus interest?
Okay. So he's asking whether interest is included in definition of tax.
Yes.
Demand.
Pardon, sir?
Demand.
20% on the demand.
Yes. That means you are telling inclusive of interest.
Interest.
Next.
2.
One second. Yes, sir.
In case of high pitch assessment, your petition is rejected.
Right. Appeal will continue, don't worry.
Within how many days I have to go for appeal?
Appeal I have not done.
Is there any law?
Actually, there is no law, as you say. 268, this time limit is not given because high-pitched committee is of a recent phenomena. So that is not there in the act. But this will be a very good stand for condonation of delay. Because you can prove that today I have filed before the high-pitched committee, they took it up for a hearing, they took this many days karke. That is why there is delay karke. But this is a good stand. What is the third point, sir? For condonation of delay, basically.
Yeah, that is. Third point is, after filing the appeal,
After?
after filing the appeal,
Yes.
after about 4 or 5 months, they sent another notice stating that you
Defective.
upload the grounds of appeal.
Okay.
Does it mean that they have sealed the paper, they want only the grounds of appeal, and also on what basis we are contesting.
What they are telling you, upload grounds of appeal.
Grounds of appeal.
File again. No, not additional grounds of appeal. If he wants, he can also upload even additional grounds of appeal. But he has to prove that why that additional ground of appeal was omitted is not unreasonable. Not willful or unreasonable. Willful. The law is using the word. We'll go through the powers of CIT appeals. It's not willful or unreasonable. They have to prove that. He can definitely, file additional grounds of appeal. But you file grounds of appeal, not an issue.
Again, I have to appeal statement of facts and all other things.
No.
Only
This has come only through that notice. In that tab only you apply, that's all. You cannot file against such grounds of appeal, not allowed at all. Court itself will not allow. In this tab, when it's open, the notice, there only you can file this, that's all. You can file additional grounds of appeal, not an issue. Yes, sir.
Again 144.
Yeah.
So they make a request for the appeals commissioner to redirect it to.
If you want, you do it. Otherwise, you don't tell him because he will tell that he is telling you what to do. The problem is they will take it in ego issue. He is telling me redirect. Who is he? He will not redirect. You give me only all the details. So yeah, invariably he will direct it. Don't worry. Yes, sir.
What is the validity of 148 notice issued against deceased?
Sir, it is already Supreme Courts have given in lot many judgments. It is void ab initio, nothing to worry. Many notices are there. Don't worry at all. Many court judgments are there. 148. Don't worry at all. Yes, sir. Anything else?
Suppose after 148 they are not responded.
Yeah.
And they raise the demand on that.
Yes, 147 order is passed. Read with 144.
Yeah. Regarding deceased cases, what could be the remedy regarding?
You have to file appeal, sir. You have to file appeal. Because this cannot be reduced in rectification. That is why we will have to file appeal, then only get it done. Or even writ petition also is fine. Even writ petition you can win. The explanation given by appellant cannot be rejected arbitrarily or capriciously without sufficient grounds on the suspicion or an imaginary or irrelevant grounds. All this, sir, the assessing officer cannot appreciate. You are not going to get any relief. Don't worry. When you go to CIT appeals, and now it is all the more better because faceless appeal. Suppose your assess is here, it will be in Nagpur, Kanpur, etc., etc. So now, earlier what was happening, there are assessment procedure, this assessment, there are 4 officers. AU, your assessment unit, VU, verification unit, TU, technical unit, RU, review unit, plus NFAC. 5 officers are doing your assessment order. On top of that, so many additions are there. Then you are going to file the appeal. That is also become now faceless. Unfortunately or fortunately, tribunal is not faceless. Because even when you wish to appear, they are not able to understand. Now, can you make appeal also faceless? So there, the justice is not delivered, unfortunately. Because faceless, you cannot explain to him. He cannot appreciate how much time he gives you to talk, how much can you talk, what about your drafting skills, how much can you write, how much can you explain. And it has to be very, you cannot, direct him or you cannot scold him. It is very sensitive. What have you done? You have not passed the order. Assessee will write like that. First 1 page you are going on scolding him. What you will do? Dismiss. Let him go to tribunal. Finish. Matter ends. Just write statement of fact, grounds appeal. Have I written there? Politely you have to draft always. Statement of fact, grounds appeal. Restrict yourself to facts. Don't tell him the law. He is the lawmaker, he knows the law. I should not tell him what to do. I am telling him, these are all my prayer. These are all the statement of facts, these are all grounds of appeal. Slowly you have to go about it. And discuss only statement of fact, grounds of appeal. In a very polite form. Straight away we will go to the powers of CIT appeals, etc. So that we can come back to issues later. We will come back to various other issues. What about your CIT appeals? The CIT appeals chapter 20, appeals to joint commissioner appeals and commissioner appeals. So what are all the appealable orders? Sir, it is given in 246A1. What are the appealable orders? 143.3 appealable order, 144 appealable order, 147 appealable order. What is assessment? Assessment is, regular assessment is defined in 2 within bracket 40. Regular assessment means an assessment made on 143.3 or 144. What is the word assessment? Assessment is defined in 2 within bracket 8, includes reassessment. Against what can I file an appeal? I can file 143.3, 144, 147, 143.1 intimation also I can file an appeal. So this, 200A, the TDS, 206B TCS, etc., etc., I can file appeals. Then the tonnage tax, that fringe benefit tax, People don't pay tax on income. Chidambaram made them pay tax on expenditure. One fine day he made them pay tax on expenditure, and then one fine day it was abolished. Fringe benefit tax. Move forward, sir. Then your 154 you can file an appeal, or 155. Then 163 order passed, and 163 treating the associate as an agent of non-resident. Then 171. What is 171? Partition of HUF. Nobody knows, first of all, what is HUF, how it is formed. They say partition of HUF. We don't know how the HUF was formed. Now we partition the HUF. From last 25 years or 30 years, I have not seen any order passed under 171. They are telling 171 is an appealable order. What is 171? When HUF is partitioned by meets and bounds, I make the deed, partition deed. I also file that 171 questionnaire with the assessing officer. He has to necessarily pass an order on 171 telling that the HUF is partitioned. No such order is passed till today in the last 25 years. That order, if there is any mistake, no, that is an appealable order. Because now neither we know the law of HUF nor the officers know about the law of HUF. 170 subsection 2, subsection 3 is your predecessor, successor, etc. That orders. Yes, sir.
Sir, no order is passed under 154, so even after 4 5 years.
Yeah.
We have been writing grievance petitions, please pass an order submitted.
100% will be done, sir. PMO, CP grams. CP grams, you go ahead. It will be solved.
And filed, sir, in fact, with the finance minister itself, I made an appeal.
Finance minister not required, sir. You file CP grams, finance minister cannot do anything. Who has to do is the department, they have to do.
They were responded, we will file it, we will do the within 2 months. But
Yes.
still 2 months, 6 months.
You have to go and meet the jurisdictional assessing officer.
Okay.
File a CP grams.
Okay.
File CP grams, then go and meet the jurisdictional assessing officer. 100% they have to do it. It is monitored by the PMO office.
Okay.
They have to do it.
What is the time period? There is any statutory time
No
period?
time period, sir. No
Any-
time period.
any-
Actually, 154 subsection 7 is telling what 6 months or maximum is 4 years, sir.
Yes.
Okay, 154. But the problem is this, now what is happening, example, he is telling there is a refund in case of assessee for 24-25, okay. Now all this last date who all filed returns, sir. It was intimation was passed on that very day itself or on the next day. Many of you will agree with me, intimation was passed on that day or on the very next day resulting in refund, or 245 will come adjusting the refund. Whereas for that, for which year? 2003,
Yes.
2004 in this case. So 2004 you adjusted the arrears, sir. After how many years, sir? After 13 years, 14 years you adjusted this refund. Thereafter rectification application is pending as on date. So you yourself, it is your fault, department, you did not rectify. 13 years you have kept in the loop. And now suddenly be out of the refund you adjusted. CP grants you file, PMO's office is monitoring, definitely will get the result, but you have to meet the job. The problem is they don't have that old records. And today you cannot file. Don't file the letter today. Because they will tell it is filed a time barred. It's a time barred application, I cannot act upon it. Officers are ready. For this 154 they are ready. Hey, old application, today only you tell time barred and reject it. File, CP grams, what happened?
No, I filed with only the...
Finance minister will not help, sir. You will have to file CP grams only, department. Next. That 237 order, that is refund, all this, then chapter imposing penalty under chapter 21. These are all appealable orders. Now quickly you have to come to non-appealable orders. What are all non-appealable orders? All the order passed for low deduction, 197(1), not appealable. 220 subsection 2, not appealable. No objection by assessee to the rectification of assessment order. Rectification 154 made on assessee's consent, order with agreed additions. I myself told you make addition. Then I can't go for appeal. I myself wrote in writing and giving. Assessment made on agreed basis. Revisionary order passed on 263. 12A. Order disposing legal objections under 147, etc. Order passed on 148 AD is not an appealable order. What I can do? I can only file a writ petition in High Court. Yes, this form of appeal and limitation. 249(1) is what? You have to file the appeal in the form 35, etc. And then, what is this? 249(1), where the total income is appeal filing fees. We discussed that. We discussed that appeal filing fees. 249(2) is telling what? The time limit for filing CIT appeals. 30 days from the date of appeal should be filed within 30 days from the date of service of notice of demand. I told you there is an assessment order, there is a computation sheet, there is service of demand at 156. So for 143, where is the service of demand, sir?
Deemed himself.
Huh? Deemed. That 143 itself is deemed to be notice of demand. Then 249(3) is for what, sir? That is condonation of 249(3). may admit an appeal after expiration of said period if he is satisfied that the appellant had sufficient cause. Give sufficient cause. So where the appellant has sufficient cause for not filing the appeal, CIT appeals may condone the delay. It is advisable that the appeal in such cases accompanied by an application for condonation of delay, narrating the reasons for delay. Meaning of sufficient cause. What is the meaning of sufficient cause? Supreme Court. When substantial justice and technical considerations are pitted against each other, the case of substantial justice deserves to be preferred. Time taken in pursuing other remedies may be valid cause. A subsequent decision of Supreme Court. Delay due to reason that the director and chief executive director who had to take a decision had resigned. Quantum of stakes involved, importance of issues, pendency of a writ before High Court, etc. Delay was alleged to be on account of illness, but the medical certificate was not filed in spite of opportunity having been given. Refusal to condone delay was justified. Now, condonation general principles, condonation reasons, lack of proper knowledge, serious illness of associate family member, absence of guidance by consultant, facts surfacing at a later date, reconciliation of various accounting items, computer getting infected, repaired later on, reasons to avoid, don't read in condonation, through oversight or wrong advice by CA, etc. This is the specimen petition for condonation of delay. 249(4) which we discussed, no appeal shall be admitted unless at the time of filing appeal, where return is filed, associate paid tax due on return income, no return has been filed, associate paid amount equal to amount of advance tax payable. Proviso to 249(4)(b) in the new Income Tax Act, what we discussed with the Honorable Chief Commissioner, he is telling, sir, there will be section, subsection, but probably there will not be any provisos or explanation. But altogether we cannot remove subsection. Section will be there, subsection is there. Provisos, explanation, etc. may go, but subsection will be there. But the English language is fully simplified. Language is fully simplified. Provided in a case falling under clause B and on an application made by the appellant in his behalf, the Joint Commissioner or Commissioner appeals may for any good and sufficient reason to be recorded in writing. You guys have to make the application first. Then the Commissioner appeals may for any good and sufficient reason. What is the word used? Good and sufficient reason to be recorded in writing. Exempt from the operation of provisions of that clause. That is for what? To pay the tax. Some examples of good and sufficient reason: losses incurred by assessee, incorrect advice by consultant, financial instability, attachment of property, no other source of income, liquid assets, etc. Suppose you don't pay the tax at all, appeal may get dismissed in limine. That means what? You know, they will not go into the merits of the case at all. They will tell you have not paid tax on return income, dismiss the appeal. So you can pay tax and again file an appeal, not an issue. Now what is the procedure in appeal? 250 subsection 1. First, 250 subsection 1 is telling the Commissioner will fix a day and place for the hearing of appeal, will give notice of the same to the appellant, assessing officer against whose appeal order is preferred. Now, other than your central charges, all the central search cases, survey cases, international taxation, and your transfer pricing, etc., everything is online. You will have to file online only. You can appear before all the central charges as well as international taxation. 250 subsection 2. Who will have the right to be heard at the hearing of appeal? The appellant, either in person or by AR, and the assessing officer. Assessing officer will not go at all. Why? Why assessing officer does not go? They are telling both of them should appear before the CIT appeals, but only we are appearing, authorized representative. Why doesn't the assessing officer appear? He is least bothered because anyway he has made the addition. He has nothing to add. I have to go because I want to get relief. So assessing officer will not appear. He has done his duty of making addition. 250 subsection 3. Power of Commissioner to adjourn the hearing from time to time. How much time they can give, sir, online? Online, can you go take adjournment? How much time? 15 days. The Joint Commissioner or Commissioner appeals may, before disposing of any appeal, 250 subsection 4, you can make any inquiry as he thinks fit. Any such further inquiry as he thinks fit. Or he may direct the AO to make further inquiry. That's why he is calling for a remand report. Either the CIT appeals before passing the order may make any inquiry it deems fit, or he can call for a report from the assessing officer. These are all the sections of the Act. And the assessing officer is bound to report the result of the same to the Commissioner appeals. What is 250 subsection 5? The CIT appeals has the power, may at the time of hearing of appeal, allow the appellant go into any ground of appeal not specified, that is additional grounds of appeal, admit. When, if the CIT appeals is satisfied that the omission of that ground from the form of appeal is not willful or unreasonable. The CIT appeals, we have to be satisfied what? That the omission from the ground of appeal or form of appeal is not willful or unreasonable. Then 250 subsection 6. The order shall disposing appeal shall be in writing and shall state the points of determination, decision thereon, reason for decision. 256A, time limit for disposing of the appeal. Thus, every appeal, the CIT appeals, as the case may be where it is possible, may hear and decide such appeal within a period of 1 year from the end of financial year. Same thing for intimation. What is the time limit to pass intimation? 1 year from the end of financial year in which return is filed. Under subsection 1, etc., transfer to me, etc. So this is of, the... Now, on disposal appeal, what this fellow will do? He will give a copy to the assessee and a copy to the principal chief commissioner or CCIT or commissioner. Now, what are the powers? 251 are the powers of the CIT appeals. In an appeal against an order of assessment, he may confirm, reduce, enhance or annul the assessment. So he can confirm, reduce, enhance the assessment. See, the CIT appeals is more powerful than ITAT. ITAT cannot enhance the assessment, no power. But CIT appeals can enhance the assessment. He can confirm the assessment, reduce the assessment, annul the assessment. Not an issue. Or he can, main thing is he can enhance the assessment. Provided that where such an appeal, this is the new power, sir, last budget. Provided where such an appeal is against an order of assessment under section 144, he may set aside the assessment and refer the case back to AO for making a fresh assessment. Only for this case he has the power. That too, law is telling he may. So his choice is up to him. Then imposing a penalty, he may confirm or cancel such an order where it has so as to enhance or reduce the penalty. When he enhance the penalty also. In any other case, he may pass such orders as he may deem fit. Same thing, Joint Commissioner appeals. Power of CIT appeals. The powers of CIT appeals are co-terminous and co-extensive with the assessing officer. That means what? He can do all what the assessing officer can do, plus he can do something extra. CIT appeals has the power to confirm the assessment, reduce the assessment, enhance the assessment, annul the assessment. He may adjourn the hearing. He may admit additional grounds of appeal. He may accept additional, he may accept, additional evidence subject to Rule 46A. Additional evidence. Rule 46A. Additional evidence can be produced at the first appellate stage. There is no prescribed format for additional evidence. Additional evidence can be filed when conditions stipulated in Rule 46A are satisfied and finding is recorded. Where the AO has refused to admit evidence which ought to have been admitted. These are the conditions. Where the appellant was prevented by sufficient cause from producing the evidence which he was called upon to produce by AO. Where the appellant was prevented by sufficient cause from producing before the AO any evidence which is relevant to any ground of appeal, or where the AO has made the order without giving sufficient opportunity to the appellant to adduce evidence relevant to any ground of appeal. You can definitely, submit this additional evidence, but you will have to make out a case for additional evidence. Any doubt, sir? Any case you are wanting to submit additional evidence? 144 is there, so all you have to submit additional evidence now. So as and when you get a hearing of 144, prepare the written submissions. Also attach all the additional evidence. For example, we will take this case only capital gains. You attach the sale deed for purchase, sale deed for sale, then your bank statement also, where received, TDS, etc. Plus in that bank statement, all the income elements you have to put in the statement of total income. Bank interest, etc., FD interest, whatever is there, all that put in statement of total income, pay the tax. You have not filed the return, I agree. Pay the tax, attach that, attach all these bank statements, sale deeds, etc. and you upload the return submissions. Ultimately telling that what is taxed is only profit and it's not the sale consideration. If the CIT appeals feel, let him take a decision, or he will set aside the case to the file of the assessing officer because it is a order passed under 144.
So what will happen to the stay petition?
What's that?
Order says that it is 2.6 and all.
Right.
Demand, but actual demand is only 3 lakhs.
Correct.
So what will happen to
Definitely you say, you first file a letter with the assessing officer within 30 days, that fellow is bound to reject. That fellow is bound to reject, and you please see to it that you keep only 5 to 10,000 in your bank account. Okay, moment that there is an appeal, keep 5 to 10,000 in bank account, what is disclosed to the department, and then next step you write a letter, he is bound to reject. If he is bound to reject, let him attach the bank account. If the assessing officer attaches the bank account, he will keep quiet. He will tell, I have done my part of duty, you do whatever you want. I have to show to the department that I have done some recovery proceedings against you. Still, then you can file a petition before the additional commissioner. The additional commissioner may reject. Then you file a petition before the principal commissioner, explain to him, these are the facts of the case. Principal commissioner stage, you will get some relief, and he may tell, okay, you pay this much tax. Or he may tell pay in installments. Or he may tell you not to pay also. But that is a call of the principal commissioner based on the merits of the case.
But will the appeal commissioner allow when the stay is rejected?
No. Appeal commissioner is different, sir. You want to file a stay before the CIT appeals itself?
Filing a stay before the CIT appeals.
So,
and filing an appeal for the demand.
No. You have filed appeal with CIT appeal, sir. Stay normally you file before the assessing officers only. You have the right to file a stay of appeal before the CIT appeals itself. Very few people do it. There is CIT appeals, host of judgments are there. If you see there, he does not have a power for a stay of demand, CIT appeals. Nowhere express powers are there. But based on certain judgments, even of Supreme Court, I will give you that even Madras High Court judgment is there.
Sir, 6 months the assessing officer has not replied to the stay of demand, sir. What to do?
Keep quiet. Why I should tell you adjust karke? Don't dispose my stay petition. And suppose if you were to collect, without disposing stay petition, the court will take a very dangerous view. Let him not dispose the application. Let him attach the bank account as it is. Immediately, if you go to High Court, will come down upon him. Without disposing the stay application, you have attached karke. That you have to be careful there. Big amount means. What is that? Demand back, etc. Sir, this is now Rule 46A specimen. The petitioner wishes to submit the following for kind consideration of CIT appeals in effect Delhi. Appeal is filed against assessment order dated, etc. raising demand 2.41 crores. The petitioner will be submitting following documents as additional evidence under Rule 46A. Copy of bank account of Canara Bank. Copy of ledger extract of Canara Bank evidencing payment made thereof towards purchasers. Delivery note evidencing the delivery of goods. These documents could not be submitted at the time of assessment proceedings as these were not specifically asked for in the course of proceedings and before the petitioner had no occasion. Therefore, he had no occasion to file the above documents. Affidavit is enclosed. As the above documents are furnished for the first time before the appellate authority, the petitioner humbly prays that these additional evidences may kindly be admitted for adjudication in appeal in the interest of justice and equity. Prayer of the petitioner may kindly be acceded to. This is the affidavit. Power of admitting additional grounds of appeal before CIT appeals. This is again a prayer now. See here, what is additional ground of appeal? In any case and without prejudice, the learned was erred in reopening, impugn the assessment order, the computation sheet, notice of demand, which are unsigned and has no legal standing in the eyes of law, and being a nullity and void administered liable to be quashed. We took this additional ground of appeal. Power to entertain additional claim in appeal. Can I claim, sir, additional? I have not made that additional claim in the course of assessment proceedings. Suppose, I sold a site and I purchased a house, but I did not make a claim under 54F, example. But first time I made a claim before the appellate authorities, example, or interest received there, less interest paid, etc. I didn't make a claim in the course of appellate proceedings. But I made a claim in assessment proceedings, I made a claim for the first time before the appellate proceedings. Supreme Court is telling, yes, possible. Coach India is telling, you want to make a claim in the written. But I am telling you now, I am not making a claim in the written, sir. Although AO does not have power to consider additional claim in the course of assessment not raised by way of revised written. Time limit for filing revised written is gone. CIT appeals has all the powers to entertain such claim. In fact, the decision casts duty on CIT appeals to consider such claim on merit. Even though he did not claim in the written, they are telling you claim now for the first time, you can accept. There are Supreme Court judgments here. So make a additional claim also. Who has the power? Not the assessing officer, but the courts. See earlier now what has happened? 139(1) due date, July, September and November. Then what is the time limit for revised written? December. You want to revise the written also within 3 months. Earlier what is the time limit for revised written and belated written? 1 year from the end of assessment year for belated return, revised return both. 139(4), 139(5). Those days Kumar, Jagdish and Sina, belated return cannot be revised, all gone. Now they are telling time limit of filing belated return, revised return is one and the same up to 31st December. After 31st December, penalty. Beyond end of assessment year, you cannot file return also. What to do then? Updated return 139.8. Up to 1 year, 12 months, 139.8, 25% penalty interest. Beyond 1 year, up to 2 years, how much? 50% penalty and interest. Beyond 2 years, what to do? File petition 119.2a, 2b. Case of refund condonation. Carry forward of loss. 119.2a, 2b. Condonation. Because now, what one beautiful law was passed last year, only up to 5 years they can reopen now. We are very happy. Only up to 5 years and 3 months I can reopen. 3 months is what? Filing return. Up to 5 years I can reopen. That's all. 3 months for collection of tax, filing of return. Beyond 5 years they cannot reopen it all. After the September last year, after September this law came. Beyond 5 years you cannot reopen. Up to 3 years you can reopen. Beyond 3 years up to 5 years only. I can't go earlier. That law changed from last year September. What is this? Yes, developers, etc. All this, you can make a claim for the first time before the appellate authorities. Madras High Court, 83taxman.com 100. The power of entertaining claim vests with the appellate authorities based on the facts and circumstances of the case. Power of the appellate authorities to consider claim made based on the material already available on record is coterminous with the power of AO. The failure to advert to the claim in the original return or revised return cannot denude the appellate authorities of their power to consider the claim if the relevant material is available on record and is otherwise tenable in law. Any other view will set at naught the plenary powers of appellate authorities. Beautiful paragraph given, para 12.5. It is well settled that if a claim made by associate company does not form part of the original return or even revised return, it can still be considered if the relevant material is available on record, either by the appellate authorities, which includes both CIT appeals and tribunals by themselves on remand, by the AO. In the instant case, the tribunal on perusal of the record found that the relevant material the claim made by the assessing company under section 80 IB 10 was placed on record by assessing company during the assessment proceedings. Therefore, it is deemed to fit to direct its re-examination by assessing officer. It is well-known principle of law that nobody can take advantage of mistake committed by anybody, be it legal or factual. It is open for an assessee to avail the remedy and point out the mistake if he is not really liable to tax, even though he might have by his conduct acquiesced to the taxability. There can be no estoppel against statute. The appellant relies on the decisions in the following cases. One more. Here it is. Seshamal versus ITO 237 IATR 185 Madras. Act is not intended to benefit the state by enabling it to collect or retain money is not payable to it under the Act. What is required to be collected from the associates under the Act is only the tax and other amounts properly payable under the Act. Therefore, it is clear from the above that revenue cannot take advantage of the mistake of the assessee. Assessment has to be made in accordance with the provisions of the Act, irrespective of the view which the parties may take of their rights. There is one old board circular which is not withdrawn. Board circular is, sir, binding on the assessing officer. What is that board circular? Dated 11/4/55 on which the petitioner would like to rely upon. Extracts of the circular are reproduced here and there. Even today you can go to tribunal and reproduce this board circular. This is still not withdrawn by the statute. Officers of the department must not take advantage of the ignorance of an assessee as to the rights. It is one of their duties to assist a taxpayer in every reasonable way, particularly in the matter of claiming and securing reliefs. And in this regard, the officer should take the initiative in guiding the taxpayer where proceedings or other particulars before them indicate that some refund or relief is due to him. Board circular is there and it is not withdrawn as on date. It is well settled that all the CBDT circulars are binding on Revenue Department when it comes to benefit the taxpayers. Revenue cannot raise a contention which is contrary to the circulars issued by board. There are a catena of decisions wherein the courts have held that interpretations given by CBDT in favor of the assessee are binding on the department, and the department is stopped from raising an argument contrary to the circulars. Power of withdrawal of appeal. Can I withdraw the appeal, sir? Is there power to withdraw appeal? Will the CIT appeals allow you to withdraw the appeal? What is your opinion, sir? There is no power of withdrawal in the Act, but the CIT appeals will allow the appeal. Suppose you filed rectification, as also you have filed an appeal, matter is sorted out in rectification, then you attach that 154 order and withdraw the appeal. They will dismiss it, they will tell the appeal is withdrawn and dismissed as infructuous. Power to treat appeal as defective. Anybody received defective notices for appeal? Power. You have to give an opportunity. Allow the assessee or the appellant to cure the defects. Then only you can tell it's a defective appeal. Early hearing of appeal. Appellant may request for early hearing of appeal. Suppose there is immense pressure for payment of demand. If the matter in concerned appeal is already covered in the appeal, orders passed by CIT appeals or any other appellate authority in assessee's own case. If the matter in concerned appeal is covered by any circular or notification. Power of enhancement in appeal. In an appeal against an order of assessment, he may confirm, reduce, etc. While processing, okay. However, the CIT appeal shall not make any enhancement or reduction without giving reasonable opportunity of showing cause to the appellant against the addition. Judicial decisions against the assessee. The CIT appeals can make addition in respect of new source of income if it is not considered by AO. CIT appeals may consider and decide any matter arising out of proceedings, notwithstanding that such matter was not raised before CIT appeals. Kanpur Coal Syndicate Supreme Court, Nirbaranam Daluram Supreme Court. Now, judicial decisions in favor of assessee. Whenever question of taxability of income from a new source of income is concerned, which had not been considered by AO, jurisdiction to deal with the same in appropriate cases may be dealt with under 147 and 148 and section 263 if requisite conditions are fulfilled, and therefore it is inconceivable that in presence of such specific provisions, a similar power is available to the first appellate authority, Delhi High Court. Enhancement under 251(1)A is prohibited on the issues which have not at all been considered by AO during assessment proceedings. CIT appeals cannot enhance the income of the assessee on altogether new source. Gurinder Mohan Singh. Binding effect of all judgments on CIT appeals. Very interesting. Now, for example, you are practicing here in Chennai, assessees of Chennai. Who will pass the order, sir? NAFAC, CIT appeals. Now they are telling you, if you are relying on the judgment of a Chennai tribunal or Chennai High Court, order is passed by that NAFAC, he is sitting in New Delhi, whether it is binding or not. Which orders are binding? ITAT Chennai or High Court of Chennai will bind to all the residents of Chennai, whereas Supreme Court, Pan India. Now they are telling this fellow NAFAC is in Delhi. So can he take cognizance of your Chennai High Court or Chennai Tribunal and pass an order in your favor? All the judgments pronounced by Supreme Court binding on all courts in India, no problem. Because this is, what is this? This is the NAFAC CIT appeals is across India. That fellow sitting in Kanpur now. CIT appeals example is sitting in Kanpur, he will dispose your case. Your assessee is in Chennai. So you have to see the judgment of Kanpur bench or you will see the judgment of Chennai bench. Chennai only. All judgment pronounced by a jurisdictional high court, ITAT are binding on the CIT appeals. Where there are conflicting decisions of courts of coordinate jurisdiction, the latter decision is to be preferred if reached after full consideration of earlier decisions. Where there are judgments on the assessee for previous years and the facts are the same, then they are binding on the CIT appeals for subsequent years. The precedent ceases to have binding force in the following situation. It is overruled or reversed by a higher court. When it is affirmed or reversed on a different ground, when it is a non-speaking judgment. Stay on recovery of demand. The 20% stay, all that we have given. Flipkart, Karnataka High Court, assessment is unreasonably high-pitched, consequent demand should be stayed. Paucity of funds can be ground for stay. Conditions for stay. If the stay of order rejected by AO, file an application before the jurisdictional PCIT, request for personal hearing, explain the genuine difficulty faced by AO, request for deposit of a sum less than 20%, request for payment in installments. When an appeal is pending before the CIT appeals, does he have the power to stay the demand? Bombay High Court, the power of appellate authority to stay the recovery of demand of dues which are subject matter of appeal pending before him is independent of the provisions of 220 subsection 6. That is the power of the assessing officer to attach. No automatic stay of demand on filing of appeal or during pendency of appeal with the CIT appeals. It is judicially accepted that CIT appeals has inherent powers to stay the demand in appropriate cases while deciding the appeal before it. The same has been held in following cases. M.K. Mohammad Puni, Supreme Court. Tin Manufacturing, now that is also Supreme Court. Debashish Malik, these are all famous judgments. Where is Madras High Court? Paulson's Litho Works. Stay can also be granted by CIT appeals. Madras High Court has held that the first appellate authority, that is the CIT appeals, has the power to grant stay of demand. Has the power to grant stay of collection of demand. Is tax is an inherent and incidental power of the appellate authority. Faceless appeal scheme. What are the problems you are facing, sir? What are the issues? Now there is only NAVEEN, that RFAC has gone, no regional now, only national faceless appeal center, only NAVEEN is there now, no RFAC now. See the scope of the scheme. The appeal under this scheme shall be disposed in respect of such territorial area or the persons or class of persons or incomes or class of incomes or case or class of cases as may be specified by the board. Faceless appeal centers. So there is only appeal unit to conduct e-appeal proceedings. The communication between Commissioner Appeals and Appellant or other person or assessing officer shall all be through the National Faceless Appeal Center. Everything is through only electronic means now. Appeal unit shall have the following authorities. One Commissioner Appeals, such other income tax authority, ministerial staff, executive or consultant. That passing of draft appellate order is removed now. No question of passing draft appeal order. Procedure in appeal. The National Faceless Appeal Center shall assign the appeal for disposal to a Commissioner Appeals. Okay. On assignment, that the Commissioner Appeals may condone the delay in filing appeal. He is giving the power to that faceless commissioner. You can condone the delay in appeal if the appeal is filed beyond the time permitted under 249. Record the reasons for condonation. Shall, through the National Faceless Appeal Center, give notice to the appellant asking him to file on his submission. Everything through the NFAC. This is CIT appeals, this is NFAC, this is the appellant. Whatever he wants to do, he has to approach the NFAC. Through the NFAC, give notice of the hearing, that's all. Within the same date and time specified. Then may through the NFAC obtain such further information or document or evidence. Then may through the NFAC obtain a report of the assessing officer either directly or through the NFAC as the case may be on grounds of appeal or information, document or evidence furnished by the appellant. May through the NFAC request the assessing officer directly or through the NFAC making further inquiry under 250 subsection 4 calling for remand report. Shall through the NFAC serve a notice upon the appellant or any other person as the case may be or assessing officer to submit such information, evidence or report. So like this, everywhere it is there. He has all that powers. You may file additional grounds of appeal, specifying therein reason for omission, etc. Then additional grounds of appeal is filed. He will, what he will do, NFAC, he will take that additional grounds of appeal, he will give it to the assessing officer. You offer your comments. He is telling that he is offering grounds of appeal, additional grounds of appeal, shall I accept or not? Assessing officer either directly or through the NFAC shall furnish their comments within the date and time specified. Then on receipt of comments from the AO, then the CIT appeals will decide whether such comments are furnished and inform or where no such comments are furnished, inform the CIT appeals accordingly. After taking into consideration all the comments, if any received from assessing officer, then if it is satisfied that the omission of additional ground of appeal was not willful or unreasonable, same thing, continue, this furnishing additional evidence. Penalty proceedings, okay. Rectification proceedings. Appellate proceedings. Exchange of communication exclusively by electronic mode. Delivery of electronic record. No personal appearance in the centers or units. Power to specify format mode. There are 14 rules actually. Application of provisions of the Act. Everywhere amendment is done, sir. They told everywhere the sections are not amended. So they brought amendments everywhere. 120, 129, 131, 133, etc. etc. Everywhere amendments are brought. These are the charts. PPT is shared and it will be uploaded, don't worry, by SIRC. PPT you can access at any time. Now one good thing is what? Compulsorily they will give a personal hearing. If you ask for personal hearing, they will give video conferencing. So personal hearing will be given. Because the courts were flooded with that writ petitions. That is why you know that 144B also, they made amendment to that entire section itself. Earlier penalty proceedings was initiated by one more commissioner. Somebody used to pass an appellate order, then one more commissioner used to initiate penalty. Now they are telling no, person who passed the appellate order, he should only initiate even penalty proceedings. Now no exemption from paying tax in case of a non-failure of return. Now they are telling there is no question of any exemption. You please pay the tax, even though you have not filed the return. Order passed by CIT Appellate should be digitally signed. These are all charts again. Yes sir, what issues you are facing now?
Sir, the assessee is a non-resident, sir. He has no income in India.
Right.
The assessing officer has added the bank loan as credits as income. So now he has filed an appeal. But what is the tax payable? Because in this case there is no tax payable.
Right. Right. Understood. You don't pay the tax. Please don't pay the tax. It is only the loan, no? I mean, whatever credits are there are basically not income. So you explain in your return submissions. Also, please put this point in the stay application also. Before the principal commissioner. Assessing officer may not understand, or additional also will not.
She has not passed any orders. That is the part.
Oh. The principal commissioner.
Assessing officer stay petition.
Ah.
No orders.
Then that means she knows that there is a mistake. That's why she has kept quiet. That is why she has kept quiet. Nothing to worry. Don't pay the tax. Yes, sir.
Is there a compulsion for the Commissioner of Appeals to reject a tribunal order from a different state on a similar case?
Very interesting question. What he is telling is there a compulsion on the NAVEEN CIT Appeals to reject a tribunal order?
Tribunal order on a similar case.
But on a different state. So this is in my favor at least, because I am a resident of Chennai. Chennai tribunal is binding on me and is binding on that NFSC also. That fellow may be in Kanpur now, but assessee is stationed at Chennai. There is a tribunal judgment in my favor also, and I am relying on that judgment, jurisdictional tribunal or jurisdictional Chennai High Court. So NAVEEN CIT Appeals has to compulsorily consider this. At least to that extent, I am safe. But you cannot stop him, no? He can do whatever he wants. But in tribunal will take a note of it. Tribunal will take a note of it that despite the assessee having cited the tribunal, jurisdictional tribunal judgment as also the court judgment, the NAVEEN has not taken note of it and therefore will quash the appellate order.
Sir, in this case, when the amount is not paid.
Which one, sir?
In this case, for the appeal has been gone.
Right.
Stay has not been granted.
I will not pay.
I have not paid the amount.
Yes.
Can the CIT will reject the...
No.
You cannot.
Sir, have you filed the return or not?
No returns.
Don't worry, you have not filed the return. If you have not filed the return, you should pay tax due on the income earned. So, what is telling basically the loan proceeds are not my income. We have to make the principal commissioner understand that what is the credit in the bank account is not in the nature of income. It lacks the income element. It is only probably a loan. So that you have to make him understand. Suppose there is a bank interest, etc., then it can be an income. What are the, that is why you have to read the assessment order thoroughly. What is written in the assessment order? Has the assessing officer gone through the credits, or is he merely telling that you are not able to explain the credits, therefore I am making addition of entire credits?
She is making addition of entire credits.
The assessing officer, what he has done is he has just got the bank account from the bank. He has taken that bank account, he has totaled all the credit side, even opening balance they have to consider. Opening balance they have to reduce. Simply they will take the credit side, total, make the additions.
Sir, if withdrawal is made,
Pardon, sir?
cash withdrawal is made.
Yeah. Cash withdrawal under which section you will add?
No, bank statement. Cash withdrawal.
Got it. From the bank statement, they will make a cash withdrawal and it cannot be an income, no? Cash withdrawal is made, suppose there is cash deposit, which is preceded by cash withdrawal, then I can explain that as the source for the cash deposit, basically.
Those are entire cash deposit, whatever, that is added as unless it is.
Right. But you are telling the source is for cash withdrawal. Definitely, 6 months to 1 year department will accept based on various case laws. My presentation is there. It is also, done for the Bangalore branch during this demonetization times. 2016 or 17, it has been uploaded there. All the case laws, I have raked up some 16-17 issues. All the case laws are in favor of the appellant. On this cash withdrawal, I have given some 20 judgments. It is uploaded on the, Google. I mean your YouTube, it is there. It is uploaded, you can download also by Bangalore branch. All the judgments in that presentation are in favor of the appellant. Yes, sir. Any other question on CIT appeals?
Sir, I got a case set aside.
Oh, okay, set aside, right.
Recently I got it.
Yes, sir.
What is the action I have to take, sir, now?
Now your assessing officer will call you, sir, and then you have to submit the details. He will issue notice under 142(1).
Okay.
The assessment proceedings will start again. What was the addition made actually?
So I have taken loan from financial institution. They have treated as a cash credits.
Very simple case, don't worry. So you take that financial statements also, and then it is loan is utilized for what?
For the business purpose, charge created, all that is there.
Okay, all that you submit. You can easily meet the assessing officer. Suppose it is partially set aside only, you can go to Java. Otherwise, you will go to FAO, not an issue. I will submit all the details online.
Fully set aside.
And you please ask for personal hearing. Even before the FAO, he will give you personal hearing.
Okay.
He will give you personal hearing, don't worry. Courts have come down heavily. That when they are asking for personal hearing, you are bound to give personal hearing, they are telling courts.
So I have to meet the assessing officer now.
No. It is partially set aside or fully set aside.
Fully set aside.
Then you have to NAFAC only it will come. Anyway, sir, if it is set aside also, don't confuse, notice will come automatically. When the notice comes, you can appear. If at all it is with Java, he will tell you to appear. If it is FAO, it will come from the online only. But what has happened is, when they issue notice, please see on the profile, don't give your email ID for heaven's sake. Give the client's email ID. My office has taken stand last 75 years. Even now, we will get the statement signed by the client. I am not signing the statement. Again, when I go to the portal, the address, email ID, everything, phone number is of the client only. I am not giving my email ID or my this one. I cannot sit and manage so many clients here. I cannot see this. The client has to see and is educated in such a manner, he will get back to us. Today, they are receiving mail, they are receiving SMSs, not the app. This app is going to come now. Still this app is not working, income tax app. On the phone it will come now. Shortly it will start. That app is not there. So that time you will get 3 messages. One on this app, 1 message and 1 mail. Today you are getting SMS, you are getting mail. And it is also there on the portal. And don't think that portal, no, if you go there and say, oh 148 notice and keep quiet, tell that we did not see. What you have seen also, immediately is captured by artificial intelligence. You cannot tell that I never saw it. Gone are those days. If you go and see, notice has come, keep quiet, I never saw. Close it. We don't know, sir, notice has come. It will leave a trial. It will leave a trial. So you cannot tell that you never logged in. Yes, sir. Any other question? Assessment order passed without providing show cause notice, draft assessment order earlier than 21. No, host of judgments are there. All writ petitions. All writ petitions, violation of principles of natural justice. Assessment order passed without considering request for adjournment, without considering submission filed, giving very short deadline. Assessment order issued within 2-3 days of show cause notice. Assessment order has been finalized making addition without issuing show cause notice. Or assessment order, draft assessment order earlier, not now, before the time limit to respond to show cause notice. Many writ petitions have been filed between various high courts, and high courts have stayed the demand, allowed the taxpayer to make submission. In many cases, high courts have even ruled that the assessment has been concluded to the principle of natural, contrary to the principle of natural justice, hence order was quashed or set aside or stayed. Assessment order without granting opportunity of virtual hearing. Submissions of taxpayer not considered. Everywhere writ petition. At every stage writ petitions are there. Assessment order passed without providing adequate time to furnish the response. Assessment order passed under 143(3)(a) post 1st April 21. Okay. Served on the wrong email ID. Even when the new email ID was updated in the profile section. Also, despite the taxpayers having made a specific request to forward notice on new email ID in their return submission, leading to unnecessary failure in compliances by taxpayers. So, suppose you are, your assessee, you have not filed return. How will they catch you? First of all, see, now they want to increase tax base. Now you are an assessee, how will they catch you? You have not filed return of income. If you have filed return of income, email ID as per the return, or you are registered on the portal as per your profile, or you have got Aadhaar, whatever email ID is there. PAN card you apply, email ID as per PAN. If you are a company based on ROC, etc. So like this, they capture all the email IDs. Technical challenges in e-verification of submission using non-PAN encrypted DSC. Standard questionnaire with bulky information issued to all taxpayers, even in a case wherein most of the information sought was not even relevant in the facts of the case. Everywhere, video conferencing faceless appeals. How many judgments are there, sir? Decision of Mumbai Tribunal Bank of India, latest one. Tribunal noted that the opportunity of personal hearing through video conferencing is to be granted in all the cases in which request for personal hearing is made. There is no question of any discretion about allowing or not allowing the opportunity of a personal hearing, as upon a request being made by SSC for a personal hearing, such an opportunity is required to be afforded to him. Earlier, the NAFAC used to decide. Earlier to this 28 December 21, NAFAC will decide whether this requires personal hearing or not. It's a total violation of principles of natural justice. Tribunal is telling, who are you to decide? As the SSC asked or not, ask means you give. SSC should ask for video conferencing. If they have asked, you please give. Earlier in the scheme, NAFAC used to decide, in 2020 scheme, NAFAC will decide whether this is a fit case for personal hearing or not. Out of turn hearing. Guidelines for priority of out of turn hearing may be considered by principal CCIT, NAFAC and CCITs of Central International Taxation on the basis of recommendations of jurisdictional PCIT Central, cases having demand above 1 crore. That cases refund originally 1 lakh, that is being changed now. Cases where a VIP, PMO reference has been received for expeditious disposal. That is no more than that 1 lakh. Instead of that, cases where a VIP, PMO reference has been received for expeditious disposal. Cases having demand of 1 crore, cases where directions to this effect have been issued by courts, cases where request is made by senior citizens or super senior citizens. In either case of genuine hardship. This e-appeals is all your Joint Commissioner appeals. Same thing, that is 246, that was 246. Any other questions are related to CIT appeals?
So these e-proceedings are recorded, sir?
Very good question. E-proceedings are recorded, that video conferencing, and thereafter link is also sent for you. You can download that recording also.
So, where will you get the link?
In the portal only. You ask them, they will give. Because suppose you want to, justify in tribunal or high court, you can get the recording. It is recorded. Video conferencing is recorded. That hyperlink. Any other questions, sir? Any question on CIT appeals? Drafting? Yes, sir.
Yes, condemnation is rejected.
Condemnation?
They don't accept the condemnation.
Right.
Okay, so is it, is there a reason to go for a writ?
You can go for it or file appeal to tribunal, no? If they don't, you can further appeal to tribunal, that's all. Condemnation not, accepted means they will reject the appeal. Against the order of CIT appeals, file appeal with tribunal. Not an issue.
Sir, giving effect to the appeal.
Yeah, order giving effect to appeal.
Yes.
That is also appealable order.
Then we can.
Appealable order. If there is any mistake apparent on record, go for rectification or even appealable order.
We can claim limitation because they have not given effect to the appeal within the time period. After 14 years, there is time to give an appeal effect. So 14 years. After 14 years, the CIT appeals, they are giving the appeal effect.
153.1, let me check.
155 and 3.
155 is rectification.
No, the appeal effect. They are giving rectification. 155.3.
No. Rectification is different, sir. You are telling order giving effect.
No.
Order giving effect to appellate order.
Yes.
155 is special rectification. 153.1.
5 and 7.
What are you telling that it is a order giving effect?
Suspended 2002-3, let us say, sir.
Yeah. Order is passed today, they are giving effect.
I argued only limitation, but they are not appreciative.
Order is, appellate order is passed today, sir.
No, it was passed in 2002.
2002 itself.
Yes.
Now they are giving.
No.
You are telling I will not pay tax, sir.
I said whatever return filed by the SSC is only applicable, no appeal order or the assessment order is effective, I told them. Because it has been barred by limitation.
Got it.
153, 5 and 7, sir, because that was earlier, 2017.
What's earlier? 153 subsection 5. Huh?
There's a cut-off date actually.
Okay, got it.
After the cut-off date, 3-4 years they are trying to call me and pass an order, giving effect to the appeal. So I argued only limitation. It was part allowed and part against. Yes.
Where effect to an order under section 250 or section 254 or section 260 or 262, 263 or 264. That means CIT appeals order, ITAT order, High Court order, Supreme Court order, revisionary orders is to be given by AO wholly or partly, otherwise than by making fresh assessment or reassessment. Such effect shall be given within a period of 3 months from the end of the month in which order under section 250 or 254 or 262 is received by the principal chief commissioner or chief commissioner, etc. is passed by. Within 3 months they have to give actually.
So, but normally it is.
It is 5 subsection 5 is not 7.
Then subsection 5 only I read, sir.
Then there's a cut-off.
You want me to read subsection 7 also?
7 also.
Subsection 7 says where effect to any order, finding or direction referred to in subsection 5 or subsection 6 is to be given by AO within the time specified in the said subsection, and such order has been received or passed as the case may be by the income tax authority specified therein before the first day of June 16.
That's the case.
The AO shall give effect to such order, finding or direction, or assess, reassess or recompute the income on or before 31st day of March 17th.
It was passed only in 19 or 20.
Fantastic.
So I argued only limitation, but it was not appreciated.
Nothing can be done.
No, actually the question is, I have told the ITAT.
You file appeal, sir.
So it is the ITAT, sir, actually.
No,
I told
okay.
ITAT, what the return filed by the assessee is only standing. No other thing is now standing because of the limitation.
Because of the time period.
Is it correct, sir?
Correct.
Because the IT was passed now.
Where effect, because you cannot give effect beyond 31st day of March 17th.
Yes.
Therefore, passing order today will make it void ab initio. But I will read 150. Section 150. All of you should read section 150. Continuing from where he took the discussion, very good point he has told you. Remember these points. Read section 150 before we close for the day. Very, very dangerous provision. None of you are bothered to read. 150 subsection 1 is subject to 150 subsection 2. We'll read that 150 subsection 1 and 2. Keep it with yourself, you need not explain to assessing officers. No need to display your knowledge there. What is 150? Please see it. Dangerous provision. Provision for cases where assessment is in pursuance of an order on appeal, etc. is the heading. 150 subsection 1 says, notwithstanding anything contained in 149, that means the time limit subject to which 148 is issued. They are telling notwithstanding anything contained in 149, notice under 148 can be issued at any time for the purpose of making an assessment in consequence of or to give effect to any finding or direction contained in an order passed by an authority in any proceeding under this act by way of appeal, reference or revision, or by a court in any proceeding under any other law, or by a court in any proceeding under any other law. Suppose I were caught for smuggling some 5 kgs of gold. I was caught smuggling. Chennai airport they caught me. 5 kgs of gold. Case went on customs for 20 years. After 20 years order is passed. Department can use this after 20 years and convicted in Customs Act. Department can go back 20 years and reopen that under 150. Or by a court in any proceeding under any other law. However, 150 subsection 1 is subject to 150 subsection 2. Otherwise, these 20 years, as I told, they can reopen. So 150 subsection 1, you understood, no, notwithstanding anything contained in 149, that means bye-bye time limit under 149. I can reopen the case at any time. I can issue notice on 148 at any time. For what? In consequence of or to give effect to any finding or direction by appellate authority under this act by way of appeal, reference, revision, or by a court in any proceeding under any other law. This is subject to subsection 2. What is subsection 2? Provisions of subsection 1 shall not apply in a case where any such assessment, reassessment, recomputation as is referred to in that subsection relates to an assessment year in respect of which an assessment, reassessment or recomputation could not have been made at that time the order which was the subject matter of appeal, reference or revision, as the case may be, was made by reason of any other provision limiting or time within which any action for assessment, reassessment or recomputation may be taken. So at that time, if it was, you could have done that, now then you can do now. If at that time you cannot reopen, you cannot reopen now. On this, there is only one example. No other book will give this explanation on 150. Only one book, Sri T.N. Manoharan's book. You have to go as a student, open CA final book of Sri T.N. Manoharan, read section 150. One beautiful example is given. Read this section, read that example, close the book and keep it. No other book will give explanation other than Sri T.N. Manoharan's book, CA final. I found that example on this section 150. Yes, sir.
Whereas it applies to income tax proceedings also, or other proceedings other than income tax.
That's what it says, sir. Or by a court in a proceeding under any other law.
Any other law.
Any,
But not under this law.
that is there before that, sir. Or to give effect to any finding or direction contained in an order passed by any authority in proceeding under this act by way of appeal, reference, revision, or by a court in any proceeding any other law. Read example in his book and forget that such a section exists. Any other question, sir?
So giving effect to the order, in case I am winning the case and 20% demand.
Refund with interest.
When I can get the...
The moment you get the order, you apply before the JAO, before jurisdiction assessing officer. Immediately you will get the refund with interest.
CPC will process or...
No. First you have to go to JAO, get the order. JAO will upload that order to CPC. CPC will check the demand. There is something called accounting is closed. That message will go to JAO, not to you. CPC will send that accounting is closed. On the, if you know the inspector, you have to sit with him. He will show you on the screen. It should come accounting is closed. Then only that order will be uploaded. Then only refund will come. You have to take approval here. Sir, it is not like the olden days now. First meet the assessing officer with copy of appellate order. Okay. There he will pass the order. First he will see whether whatever you paid reflects there or not. In his 26 years. His 26 different, our 26 different. What is reflecting in my 26 years, invariably doesn't reflect in department's 26 years. So I will give all the challenge, he will see that it will reflect. Then he will take an approval from the additional commissioner. Then he will pass the order. Then he will send it to CPC. That calculation has to be sent to CPC. CPC will check the calculation. Then he will tell accounting is closed. That only they can see on their system. They will make you sit and show you. Accounting is closed comes means that order is generated. Then they will upload that order. They will, if you want refund, they will take their approval of their commissioner, CPC commissioner. There also they will take the approval. Then the order will be uploaded. Then refund will come. Then the refund will come, they will tell failure, bank account not validated. So you have to again go refund reissue request. Refund reissue request. So all these, these are the pitfalls there. Accounting is very important. Go and get it. Any other, sir? Any problem? Any other practical issue to be covered? Any question on income tax for 5 minutes?
Sir, this is regarding VSVS2.
Yes, sir.
Appeal was filed on 25th.
25th
June.
With your condonation, you got it. It is not pending as on 23rd.
Yeah, 23rd. It was filed on 20th within the due date.
Within the due date.
Yeah. Appeal was filed within 30 days on 25th.
Got it. Is it covered in FAQ 38, 39, 37? Next FAQ has come. 37, 38, 39.
Even there is no...
It's not there, unfortunate. But if they do this, lot of cases will be covered under VSVS.
There are a lot of representations.
Yes.
When the government...
It should come that. You meet the principal chief commissioner here. And immediately give the reference. Because now anyway up to January 31st is extended without that paying extra 10%. Right now, tomorrow shall go and meet the principal chief commissioner. Okay. Tell them I want to come under VSVS. She will escalate the matter to board. And like this, your cases, lot of cases may be there all over India. Why I am telling now if you escalate, probably in the next 10-15 days you will get the FAQs. If you get the FAQs before January, if you pay, you will be saving that 10% extra tax. That is not covered in FAQ 37, 38.
Sir, even for 154 petitions pending, we are getting these notices. Direct tax.
You want to go to VSVS?
They are asking us to go, whether we can go because it's not an appeal. No?
100% it should be an appeal only. So only merely 154 application you cannot go for VSVS.
Yes.
If appeal is pending against 154, you can go. All penny stock cases, please go. All penny stock cases, nobody can win, please go. All bogus purchases cases, this stand you can take. Only profit you pay the tax. Otherwise it's difficult. All faceless assessment, We had a meeting in Bangalore, in the Court Bangla building with all the principal commissioners. I told them, this scheme this time, last time was very good. You also got a very good response because a very good scheme. Just pay the tax 30%. I mean, no interest and no penalty and no prosecution. Very good it is. But the problem is last 4 years, 20 to 24 are all faceless assessment orders. If it is a faceless assessment order, if I have to convince my client, I have to convince him to pay 75% tax, 60% plus 25% surcharge plus 4% health and education cess. So that will be difficult for the client to convince. 60% tax will not come out. I in fact advise the government also, for once what you do, you come down to IDS rate. At 45% only you collect the tax. I advise the government only in the VSVS window, the 60% also bring it down to IDS rate, 45% tax.
So in the intimation they are asked, they are adding the partner's share of income, which is exempt.
That you file appeal.
But how can I file appeal, sir? I file rectification petition.
No. Unless you file appeal, you will not win it, sir. You have to compulsorily file an appeal. Rectification, they cannot do it.
And I have filed that, for companies lower tax I have filed, sir. 4 years they have allowed all this thing. Suddenly this year they have asked me to, they have not filed 115 JV form, they have put demand. I have filed all this.
At 143 one,
143.
You have to file appeal and rectification both. Please file appeal and rectification both. And you have a valid condonation delay also because you tell application not disposed of. I was waiting for the appeal to be, rectification application to be disposed of, not disposed, therefore I am forced to file appeal. File it. Any other questions are on appeal?
NIC in one case.
What, ma'am?
NIC was not filed.
Not possible. Not possible at all. Now if you file only, by default it is a old regime only or new regime.
First year. After that they have moved to the new.
Aja, first year you didn't file.
Tax
Board circular should come, no board circular. But see, the demand is how much? What is the difference?
That is right, because they calculated 30%.
Okay. That you should see based on that, but no board circular as of now.
Yeah.
So difficult. Yes, sir.
Sir, bogus purchase.
Pardon, sir?
Bogus purchase.
Yeah.
Profit element they added 25%.
Right.
But SSE last 5 years or 10 years, GP is 10% and MP is 5%.
Appeal. Matter will be decided in appeal. Yes. This just I took because they told me drafting of appeal they required. I would have taken 148 or I would have taken 68 or something. Because they told me, they gave me 3 hours time, they told drafting of appeal only you have to trust upon it. That's what the SIRC chairman told me. We want members for drafting of appeal. So therefore I took this one. Otherwise you would have taken 148. One day workshop we can have. Drafting appeal for 148, 2 hours. Again for 68, 2 hours. Share premium 1 hour. For example, bogus purchases 1 hour like that. This appeal only, tribunal only. Via media, they may do 15% also. So 15% better than 25%.
Sir, your PPT will be shared through mail?
It's already, it will be mailed, sir. Anybody can access at any time. Anybody can access at any time. Normally, all my PPTs, I try to put all the case laws only in favor of the appellant. Even in Bangalore, the DTRTA also invites me, the Direct Tax Training Institute, to train their officers. So last meeting there was, CIT appeals were there, faceless, some additional commissioners there, all over India, CIT appeals, Mumbai was there, additional commissioners from Bikaner, Chandigarh, etc. Everybody were there. So the discussion was on, 68, 69, MSMEs, etc., etc. All PPT was done, but all the case laws are in favor of the appellant. So if you want to use it, okay. I have shared that PPT also with them. No, they are, yes sir.
One case, in the year 1920.
1920.
The employee contribution to peer. The commissioner has the commissioner appeal they have
No, like this many cases were there. It started in 2010 AIMIL. So that time they allowed. Thereafter what happened, 3615 is, it's absolutely, amended. Law itself is amended.
The commissioner has allowed it, but A was not passing an order.
Till now. Order being affected.
Yes. He says that I cannot give a...
What is the demand?
Demand is about 25-30 lakhs.
But that will not appear on the portal now. It cannot appear. Beyond, I think 2008 or 9, nothing is appearing. No, your 2003, whatever. That too less than 25,000, 15,000, all those are extinguished. This is 1920, no? Those demands cannot appear on portal. It is not enabled at all. Is it appearing on portal or have you received a notice, sir?
No, we have received a commissioner order.
What, ma'am?
It is appearing in the portal.
Is it? Which year?
1920.
1920? No, ma'am. Is it appearing in income tax portal, I am asking. It will be appearing in PF whatever, not in income tax portal. Income tax portal, if it appears, you give it to me. I will inform my commissioner because I am there in that committee. CPC migration. It is not there. You please get in touch with me. You give me those details. Any other questions, sir? CIT appeals. So thank you very much for a very patient ear.